welcome to the party. This is it, guys. This is it. This is the season. I see at least one person in chat. Clutch, you ready for this? It's gonna be a good time, man.
This is what we have all been building to for an entire season.
Yeah, for real. It's definitely exciting. I am very, very pumped for it. Alright, well, we're kind of hanging until Dish is ready on his end to bring us the slideshow, but to those of you who are already here, welcome. Sir Bacon Bits here. I'm with Clutch1908 tonight. We get the honor and the privilege of getting to be your announcers for the 2023 EPL Summit Series. It is going to be a blast. I know Clutch and I have had so much fun playing in the EPL this season, so to get to be a part of an event like this and getting to see how the finals shake out, it's going to be amazing. I am genuinely pumped for it. I think it's going to be great. Clutch, how are you feeling after this season?
I think the interesting part for people at home to understand is that, with this being a new game and, everyone's learning, we had a player set released right before our draft. We had a mid-season draft that covered, I think, 2 player sets. I know that the last player set that was like 3 additional.
Yeah.
So 2 player sets. It really is basically 1.
Essentially, yeah.
Everyone's still learning these characters and are still learning like how to use. And for EPL here for the Summit Series, hit cursor, no lock on, which is not it completely changes the game. I even think from no lock on to 1 lock on, even just a little bit of lock on changes things so much. You're going to see a completely different ball game out there today than you're used to playing online normally.
Oh, no doubt. That's something that we'll definitely get into later, the no lock-on. It's a bear, and it's definitely an adjustment period. I know on my end, I started the season 1 and 5 because I didn't know how to hit without the lock-on, at least a little bit. And that's with me in our Discord Invitational tournament a few months back. I was the runner-up out of a field of over 40, and having to transition to that no lock-on just was so rough. It takes so much adjustment to get used to it, and then you've got to stick with it or you'll slip mid-season. And in a season as long as what we've had, it's hard to maintain.
The biggest thing that I noticed is, when you're pitching normally online, and I know they've been changing the lock-ons a bit for the more recent tournaments, but if you haven't picked up the game in a while and you only did, we're really playing at the beginning, lock-on 3 is all about missing bats, because if a player is anywhere near the pitch, it's going to lock on and give them solid contact. But when you're playing with no lock-on, you have to be completely on your mark. Otherwise, it's just this dink. Like I said, this is 10 of the best people in the server, at the time that were selected for this league, and the amount of pop-ups to the pitcher, pop-ups to the catcher, foul flies, it's not realistic. That's how bad the contact looks.
Not to mention
it's that tough.
Yeah, not to mention dinky double plays happening all over the board. A severe lack of home runs across a fairly large season. But I don't think you're going to see many players over a few home runs in the season. I think for the season hit maybe 3 total. It's so hard to get yourself to hit for power because that contact zone is gone.
Yeah.
And so if you're not going to be able to get clean contact on it, what's the point in trying? You're just going to play for singles and doubles.
Right. I think I ended up with like 5 or 6 homers on the season, but I had Ukami, I had Fukuya, I picked a bunch of S-powered characters. My thought is I wasn't going to make good contact with it being no lock-on. And so, I'd get a bunch of dinky singles because they have a lot of power.
Right,
and really, it either just fell, right to the infielders, or if I'd make good contact, actually would hit it all the way to the outfielders. So, that's a, nice thing to learn for next year. But anyways, picked a lot of power characters, so I transitioned to just I'm going to sit on pitches. I'm going to try and hit them out because I'm not going to be able to string 2-3 singles together. And I think that's actually what you'll see Bren trying to do. And when I played him, he didn't try and string a bunch of singles together. He's really good about trying to pick up on your tendencies on the mound. He's trying to guess where you're going with your pitches, and he's trying to either make really good contact, whether he's going, big swing or not. He's really playing a guessing game out there, and you'll probably notice him taking a lot of strikes, and you'll be kind of wondering, where's protecting the zone, but he's just sitting on a pitch, and if it's not where he thinks it is, he's going to let it go, and he's going to take his hack on the next pitch.
For sure. Well, I hate to interrupt you, but I think Dish is ready for us. Dish, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I am doing fantastic, folks. How are y'all doing?
We are wonderful. We're just having a little chat about some of the intricacies of the EPL and some of the difficulties in playing through it.
Oh, yeah, there are definitely a lot of intricacies.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, you got that slide deck ready?
I thought you had the slide deck.
Dadgummit. Okay, hold on. Let's see. All right, let me hop.
What is this, a crossover episode? Yeah, a little bit.
I know. I'm gonna share my screen over to the Discord real quick with the slide set for you, and right. I'll let you get it on your stream when you're ready, and we'll go ahead and we'll go through it as soon as you're ready to.
Oh man, it will take me a little bit, but you go ahead.
Alrighty, yeah. All right, so for those of you who just joined, thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm Sir Bacon Bits. I'm with Clutch1908. We've got dishnet34 here as well. He's going to be providing our game point of view for this evening. This is the 2023 eBaseball Power League EPL Summit Series. Now, for those of you who are wondering, what this is about, you've obviously not been watching my channel this season, or Dish's Twitch, or any of the other players in the league, in which case I have to say shame on you. No. Yeah, exactly. But, so we're going to give a quick explanation of the league. We're going to break down tonight's matchup and prepare ourselves for one heck of a battle. So,
right. I think I've almost got this cropped here.
Oh,
almost.
I see it going. I see it going.
And there we go.
Hey, he's ready. Awesome. All right, so the eBaseball Power League. So the overall structure is a 40-team, 4-tier league within WBSC eBaseball Power Pros, hosted by those of us on the Power Pros World Discord, specifically different people like HF and some of our league admins who have been doing an amazing job this season keeping things organized. And it's not easy to do. We've got 4 different tiers of 10 teams. We have a promotion and relegation system in place where the top team from each division and the bottom 2 teams overall will either get promoted or relegated respectively. Within each league, we have 2 divisions of 5 teams. There's a lot of competition here. This is all on the Switch version of eBaseball Power Pros. Mm-hmm. This is a massive league.
Oh, yeah.
And not just that, but this is a 9-week regular season. We started the season the week of April 23rd. So this season's been going now for 2.5 months.
I know, it's crazy.
It really is. And a 3-game series every single week of it. 27 games per team. That is a very, very long season, but it's been amazing. I think everybody can attest to it. It's been awesome. But with that structure with that structure in place, the top 2 teams from each division made it to the playoffs. Where they competed in a semifinal within each of the respective divisions in a best-of-3 series. The winners of that are here tonight for the Summit Series, which is our championship, which is going to be a best-of-5 series. So this will be interesting. Clutch, you got any thoughts on maybe how this will change things, considering you're going from a 3-game series as a standard to potentially a 5-game series? Maybe how that'll affect our pitching rotations?
Yeah, so a few things. So, as you know, competitors in general, first time they're going 5 games. You know, during the season, you could split up your three. Most people played the three back to back, so they're very used to that. But potentially having to go 5 games, it's going to be a little bit more of a mental battle to go through and be able to get through it. The other thing is that based on the rules that we set, because you can't track stamina, you know, across friendly games, starting pitchers are out automatically for 2 games, and depending on pitch counts, you could either have pitchers pitch back-to-back games, miss 1 game, or miss 2 games due to rest. So normally, most teams have figured out 3 good starters to have on their rotation because they're trying to pitch them. You know, you need to get through each series, and then you reset going to the next series. With this being a best of 5, you're probably going to see some of the top starters at least twice, if not 3 times. I would be interested to see if any of our competitors today are going to try and maybe, you know, most of the best pitchers in the game can be relievers too. So if they're going to maybe take one of their best pitchers and try and throw them for a couple innings every game, if they are just going to go ahead and start them, like, I think there's a lot of ways you can mix and match your pitching staff. And since it's going to be a 5-game series, you got to be ready to go a little bit deeper into the pitching staff, because sometimes you got a reliever that you like. You're like, you know what, if I throw him for an inning, you know, one time in the series, I feel good. But once they get a second look at him, I'm feeling a little less confident. So you might have to go a little bit deeper into the pen if you get into any trouble with, you know, pitch counts or anything like that for your top pitchers.
Most definitely, yeah. It's going to be a totally different mind game for these two tonight as they look to potentially re-strategize how they go about things. It's not just going to be, okay, let me throw my number 1 guy game 1, my number 2 guy game 2. It's going to be, how can I extend my depth in case I need them later? And I think that's going to make things really interesting. But to get a better look at who's going to be playing tonight, let's take a look at the standings for the season in the EPL. So we have our 2 divisions, the World League and the Global League. The top 2 from each division made it to the playoffs. So in the World League, that was HF and dishnet34. Dish came out with a 2-0 sweep against HF to bring him here tonight. And he's going to be facing Bren, who pulled a similar 2-0 sweep against Greg the Egg and the Subarctic Narwhals. Absolutely phenomenal players, all 4 of them. But to see some of these early season... or not early season, but early sweeps in the semifinal, kind of surprising. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how this final shapes up, though. One other thing to discuss with these standings, we did have one series that just finished up today from the regular season, that being between our very own Clutch and the reigning Discord Invitational champion Zumikaku, who came out with a 3-game sweep in their series. As such, Clutch and Jeff DeBoss will be the 2 players from the EPL that'll be heading down to Triple P for next season, while we'll be bringing up 2 players, that being MC Scales and the Bubblegum Poppers, and Agent 207 and his team Soda Beer Sunrise. It's gonna be interesting, but the part it will be. But the part that makes it really fun, and I think it's going to make it more competitive, is that every season our leagues redraft. We are only allowed 1 of each player in the entire league. So a complete redraft, even of these new teams, could put them on level footing right away. It will get very interesting very fast. So let's have a quick look over our rule set for tonight and for what we've been doing for the entire season. Every game is a 9-inning game. Unlike the Discord Invitational, which was a 6-inning game, this is a full 9 every game with up to 15 innings total if we go into extras. We have a 7-run mercy rule in place with DHs in play. No spotlight, no pitch time skips. We do have tiebreaker rules in place, which will put runners on base in extra innings. Lock-on limit of 0. For those of you who were here at the start of the stream, Clutch and I were talking about this. This is what makes the EPL hard. No lock-on. If you've played online or you've played maybe in the Discord Invitational, you might have played with like a lock-on 2, lock-on 3. Until you play with lock-on 0, you will not realize how much assistance lock-on gives you.
Yep.
Dish, you can agree. Clutch, you can agree. the amount of difference that lock on makes is just indescribable. It makes it so much harder. Moving on with that, our stadium for tonight's game is going to be Blue Stadium. During the regular season, it was Crown Stadium, but we shifted to Blue Stadium for the playoffs. The rosters are built with 25 players, where we had a 25-round draft at the start of the season, which took almost a week to complete for the EPL. I don't know for the other tiers. For the EPL, it took almost a week to get through. But despite us having our draft, we had 2 player sets come out after we drafted. So to compensate for that and for us to be able to kind of upgrade our teams partway through the season, we had a 2-round mid-season draft where we were allowed to replace 2 of our players on our current roster with players from the new player set. The rosters are capped at 8 pitchers and 17 fielders in terms of primary positions, but there is no cost cap, so whoever you can get in the draft, you can get. As Clutch was talking about earlier as well, we have a pitcher rest system in place where anybody starting a game or throwing 35 plus pitches in a game has to take a 2-game rest. If somebody throws 20 plus pitches, between 20 and 34, they have to take 1 game off. If they throw 19 or less, they don't have to rest, they can pitch back-to-backs. And that, as Clutch was saying earlier, is something we could very much see in play tonight, as a best-of-5 series could really bring out some strategy in that pitcher rest. So, let's take a look at our competitors for tonight. First off, we have Bren and the Champion Rings. I'm going to go through the roster really quickly, and we'll have a little discussion on it. So, pitchers for the Champion Rings. We've got Kiba. We've got Red, Areki, Narumi, Graviton Arai, who was a mid-season pickup, Tachikawa, Zenzai, Morimoto. And the only pitcher ineligible at the start of this series is Red, who has to take a 1-game rest because we have a rule in place for if Game 3 doesn't happen, it still counts towards rest numbers. Clutch, who do you think is going to be the key pitcher here for the Champion Rings tonight? Who do you think is going to take off for them?
Well, I'm just thinking about how you could line your starters up. It's going to be Kaiba game 1, so I'm guessing you see him in 1 and 3. I actually think what might be the key pitcher here is Narumi. I get the feeling that he'll pick up at least 1 start, and that's probably, Bren's 3rd starter here. And so trying to steal 1 there, and then you're going to get 2 starts out of Red, 2 starts out of Kaiba, which is a formidable 1-2 here in this best of 5. I think that's the key pitchers. Narumi can come out and do a good start in his 1 game. I think that could put Bren way ahead in this series.
Most definitely, and Kaiba really has been one of the best pitchers of the season. He's sitting right now on a .68 ERA with a 6-0 record. 31 Ks in 53 innings. He has been lighting the entire league up, and I really don't know if there's another pitcher with close to as many strikeouts as he's had. So between that and Red with his ERA of .29 for the season, it's going to be a very, very strong pitching front for the Champion Rings. So moving on to our fielders now, we've got Raigao, we've got Takemoto, Kazanagi, Yashima, Shibuya, Sakura no Miya, Horisugi, Oda, Roppongi, Honda, Odagiri, Kazanin, Gunji, Shogogetsu, Kirasaki, Ishino, and Hidu. Now, I know I've got my players in mind for really who will make an impact here, but Clutch, what are you seeing out of this group? Do you think these fielders will be able to keep up on the hitting side with their pitchers?
Oh, easily. I'm seeing a lot of names here that are known for their power normally in lock-ons, and like I said, Bren is one of those people that has really adjusted to the 0 lock-on in just choosing to really sit on pitches. And so this is a strategy that there's a little bit of hit and miss to it, but he's such an incredible player that honestly he makes it work and is very much a threat at the plate with a little more swing and miss in his lineup. But there's some really good hitters here. And then you see like Rapongi and you see some defensive players as well. You know, it's kind of what ended up happening with a lot of people's rosters. Is it felt like they just really did not have many holes in their lineup, and so probably we'll see that for both competitors tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I know with the champion rings, there really are only a couple of their regular hitters that have hit over 300 this season, but their roster overall has done a wonderful job driving in runs. For example, Taro Takimoto, only hitting 274, but 4 home runs, 17 RBIs on the season, making an impact even if not always getting on base. So it's going to be interesting to see how Bren handles that. So going forward now, let's talk about Dish and the Green Bay Blizzard. Also a very, very formidable roster. You've got Doe, Yamaguchi, Go, Kurama, Isamura, Yakumask, Asnable, and Yakuman 1 Go as their pitchers. And the only ineligible pitcher here is Yakumask for 1 game. Again, some phenomenal pitchers on this team. What are your thoughts here, Curve? Or Clutch? I don't know why I say Curve. Sorry about that. Your team is the Curve. That got in my head.
He's thinking of my team. Yeah.
I'm thinking of your team. Yeah, I know. But who are you seeing as our standouts here? Who do you think we're going to be seeing a lot of tonight?
So I think people are going to look at Doe, and I mean, a very great pitcher in online normally, but it's kind of interesting where some of his stuff doesn't play as well because of the lock on, but I will tell you it plays up so much with it being no lock on. The knuckleball is so much harder. He's got that really great fastball. And it's kind of what it comes down to is that some of the pitchers that, we couldn't use their full repertoire because it doesn't play when if you're anywhere near it, you're going to get good contact. It completely changes how they're able to be used with no lock on. So I think when you get a chance to watch him pitch, and I'm going to guess you're going to see him for a couple games. I'm going to guess he's going to take the game 1 start here. You really pay attention to how you're able to use him differently with no lock on compared to when you have to deal with lock on 3.
Most definitely. And we got to watch out for him on the hitting side as well. He's been tearing it up this season at the plate. 472 batting average, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. And that's only with about half as many at-bats as the rest of the team. And yet he still is leading that team in home runs and I believe in RBIs as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how he produces this evening. So moving on to our fielders now, we got Victor Koldberg, we've got Mitsuru Izayoi, we've got Sakigake, we've got Murasame, we've got Daita, we've got Yakuman 5 Go, we've got Naito in his armor, we've got Nyaptet, Rokudo, Samejima, Owate, Mushika, Kodaira, Nijima, Pachan, Takagi, Ochiai, another big midseason pickup along with Yakumask there. These guys look formidable, and they've been hitting really well this season. What are you thinking here? Do you think these guys will be able to take on that powerful pitching from Bren in the champion rings?
Yeah, so, a little bit more average, even just looking at the playoff stats, just a little more average out of this team and the Blizzard. And I think it's really going to play up because what Bren has a lot of is a really good fastball. Both Kaiba and Red have quick fastballs. Kaiba with that rising fastball that really throws off a hitter, especially with no lock on. So being able to play a little more small ball, being able to try and put a lot of contact, get a lot of runners on base, you're going to have a really hard time lining up the fastball to try and, really drive it. And so you're really going to need those contact skills and those, solid contact. And I think we see a lot of that out of this lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's definitely a couple players here with some really good batting averages. Sakigake sitting at 366. Yakuman 5 Go 379. Doe 472. And Dish always takes advantage when he's on the base paths as well. He's got some very quick runners on this team. Sakigake, 10 steals on the season. Mitsuru Izayoi sitting with 5 himself. So he's going to be dangerous if he gets on, and he tends to get on well with some of his fast players. So it's going to make for an electric night on the base paths, and Bren is going to have to really keep up with that if he's going to have a chance at winning this thing.
Yeah, but also check those caught stealing numbers too, though.
Fair. I'm about to say, I don't have them in front of me. I wish I did. But the flip side, you're taking chances. So it could go either way. But you're aggressive on the paths, and he's going to have to watch for it regardless. All right, so last little bit here. We're going to do a quick summary of the last time these guys played, which was all the way back week 1 of the season when everybody was still figuring things out. They had to play each other right out the gate. The series ended up going to the champion rings 2-1 after the Blizzard won game 1 6-5 in 11 innings to start the season, going 11 innings, and then proceeded to have games go 7-1 and 6-1 to the rings respectively. These guys have some history with it. I know Dish and the Blizzard, they're going to be looking to make a comeback. They made some major upgrades in that midseason draft with Yakumask and Ochiai, who have both been playing really well. So I think this is going to be a heck of a game, heck of a series, and we're going to have a really entertaining night with it.
Hopefully we see a little bit more of that back and forth here. We definitely don't want a quick 3-0. I guess looking at how things shook out last time, looking at the rosters, some big in-season pickups for the Blizzard, but you know, from my super educated, I've watched so many EPL games. I know everything that we can expect tonight. That's mostly sarcastic. But my dumb prediction is I think Bren takes it 3-1. He's been really on fire all season. He has the record to back it up. I think the Blizzard find a way to scratch one out here, kind of like they did in that extra innings game to kick off the season. But I'm thinking Bren's going to take it kind of handily in the other 3.
It's interesting that you would put it that way. I would honestly flip that a little bit. At the least, I would say this game goes full 5. I would say we go a full 5 here. That 5th game is going to be a swing because, yes, Bren has been on it all season, but Dish and the Blizzard have really taken off recently. Between the back end of the season and the playoffs, they have been playing really, really strong. So I would say Dish has a very good fighting chance here. I'm going to give it to Dish 3-2. I think he takes it in 5.
I hope we go all 5 because if we're going all 5, I think we got a heck of a series on our hands.
For sure. I think it would be very entertaining to go the full way with it. But with that, that is all I have on that. Dish, how are you feeling? You ready for this?
Oh, about as ready as I'm gonna be. Holy cow. I'm looking forward to this. Bren, if you're hearing this, good luck, my man.
Yeah, this is gonna be really good. Dish recently got to go out to Singapore for the Olympic E-Series baseball event as the lead commentator for eBaseball Power Pros. If you guys haven't seen that yet on YouTube, go check it out. It's got nearly 2 million views at this point. It was an amazing series. I know I got to watch the back end of it as one of our own Discord members, Kangang. He got to play in the 3rd place game representing the U.S. It was an amazing night. So make sure you guys go check that out. Dish has been pretty pumped for all that. He's been playing really well lately. So, Dish, I'll let you get to your stream. We've got the feed ready to go.
Awesome.
So, yeah, good luck to you. And we will be over here calling this thing and ready to rock.
All right. Have fun, guys.
Yeah, have fun with it, man. Let's do it. All right. The big games are here. This is it. This is the whole season on the line for Dish and Bren. Who is going to come out on top? We're about to find out. Bren gets home advantage as he has had the better record for the season, so he's already got the lobby set and ready to go for Dish to join, which he is doing now. And we're going to see how this shakes out for Game 1. Clutch, are you ready for this? How are you thinking this is going to play out for Game 1?
So again, got to kind of see where we're going with pitchers. I'm thinking Doe and Kaiba game 1, gonna give the advantage to Bren there on the bump, but we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see if that's what they go. There could be a little bit of playing around with how the mood of the pitchers. So we'll see what we're gonna go for here.
Yeah.
We're thinking about Go because we have Max.
Yeah, Go is in a good mood, but it looks like we're going to stick with
mood.
Doe. So it's going to be Ryuga Doe. Oh. No. No, he's starting this off with Asnable.
So I guarantee... And we're just going to...
Oh. No, there's Doe.
Oh, okay. So we were trying to get him in the lineup. I see now.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. I was going to say, I'm like, are we going with an opener here in game 1? That was going to be my guess.
I thought that might have been a strategy here. I've seen that as I was getting stats ready for this. I definitely saw that strategy played out a few times. I would see somebody come in for like an inning to start the game, and then they would switch up and bring in their power pitcher the rest of the way.
Yeah, especially if then you can try and get the game, get 5 solid innings with like 35 pitches. That's only 1 game of rest then. Doe could pitch then, theoretically, then game 3 again.
Yeah, but
and
the
then if you do that strategy again, but...
Yeah, the flip side is that with the Blizzard, we have seen Doe go up to 11 innings by himself. So we could see a long one here. And it's going to be Arashi Kaiba starting this out as expected, and Izuyoi to lead this off, taking that rising fastball for strike 1. That is a dangerous pitch.
It's very hard to pick up, very hard to really judge that movement. It has a lot of rising action, really hard to line up, see if we can try and get on top of it here.
And he takes that fork ball into the ground foul, and it's going to be a 1-2 count on Izuyoi. Kiba firing. Oh, and it's going to second. Kazunagi is there. Quick ground out to second. That fastball from Kaiba, it's got such a small contact point as well with that rising action. It is one of the toughest pitches in the entire game, I would say.
And then the next problem is you got it inside there, so you kind of get sawed off, and then their liner not able to get through the infield.
Yep, Kirasaki takes that down, and it's going to be Victor Koldberg now at the plate. He struggled a little bit during the regular season. He only hit .220. But when the playoffs came around, he took off. He's been 5 for 9 in the playoffs with 3 RBIs. So we'll see, can he maintain that playoff momentum? Or is he going to fall back into his regular season ways despite being probably one of the better hitters in the league statistically? And he gets him, strike 3, high fastball. And we're going to be changing sides now. It's going to be Ryuga Doe for the Blizzard to start this off. Quick 1-2-3 inning from Kaiba there.
Yeah, very curious to see how much Dish tries to run up the pitch count. Kaiba has only a B stamina, which is more than enough to get through the game. But if you really take the time to try and, work the pitch count up, you could maybe chase him in the 7th or 8th inning. Curious to see how that goes.
For sure. And Doe really pitching around Red here, and with good reason. Red has been a phenomenal hitter this year for the Champion Rings as he lines out to short. And it's going to be Kazunagi now, a very, very, very rounded player, all C's across the board. Not specializing in anything, but a lot of great abilities and a very reliable second base option as he fouls that off to right. And Kazunagi, probably one of the best hitters on this team for the Rings, hitting .306 on the year, 13 RBIs in the 2 slot. As it gets sent to left, Koldberg under it, 2 gone. It's going to be Rygao now. What are your thoughts on Rygao here? He's definitely dangerous.
Very dangerous. With 2 outs here, I'm guessing Bren's going to be trying to sit on something and try and send something.
Most likely. And he smacks it to center. That's going to be a single. Gunned to center. And the throw to first, an attempt to get him, but no hope there. And it's going to be Taro Takimoto. Probably the best hitter on this team with that A contact S power. Has just been an absolute force for this team this year on the power side. And we got a steal attempt, and he's a mile ahead of it. No throw even attempted. Wow. Oh, big swing and a miss. It's going to be 2-2 now, as we got a fielder shift happening. And that ball is in. It's going to be grounded to second. Kadaira's there. And that's it. One hit allowed, and it's going to be Doe now. What are you thinking here for Doe? Do you think we're going to see some power unleashed, or we're just going to try and get a hit?
So I was thinking we just try and line something up to get the inning going, but we're trying to go for it all there.
Yeah, and it didn't pay off. But the thought may be, this is early. This game's still early, so maybe you try to take advantage and you try to send something. As we see Yakumask now up, also with that S-Power. Definitely one of the most prized picks in that mid-season draft. I know a lot of people were angling for him. I was definitely in that group. And struck out swinging on the low forkball. 3 pitches and got him out of there, and it's going to be Ochiai, the other mid-season pickup for the Blizzard. Kaiba dealing those strikeouts yet again with no issue as that ball is smacked foul to right. Got him looking on the inside edge. Kaiba absolutely killing it. That's 3 strikeouts already through 2 innings.
You're not looking for the forkball up there. You're expecting a rising fastball on that inside. Probably completely froze dish for that reason.
Oh, most definitely. That is a hard pitch to watch for. And, playing from experience as well, sometimes you got to throw that in there. You got to throw them off. As we get a quick pop-up to Kodaira, and that's going to be one gone. It's going to be Reiri Kirasaki up to face Doe. And a quick grounder to second, 2 gone.
First knuckler we saw there, it was lined up pretty well, but just on top of it to ground it out. But really good contact the first time there.
Yep, and that's going to be popped up to center right away. Murasami is under that. And a very, very quick inning for Doe. I think that was 4 pitches. He was out of that fast.
Efficient for sure.
Most definitely. So we're going to have Go at the plate now. Go, surprisingly, has been a little rough at the plate this season, at least in terms of getting on base. But when he does, he's knocking in runs. He's got 9 RBIs, but a 197 average and only a 206 on base percentage as he pops up. Got to work on getting on base there as it's coming to Kodaira now. Kodaira not seen a lot of action this season. Only 5 plate appearances the whole season. And no hits among that. It strikes out Kaiba another K. That's 4 through 2 2/3. As we see Murasame now, who is a primarily defensive player. But surprisingly been hitting really well. We're looking at a 290 average right there. Doing a great job at the plate, despite that F contact. And got him swinging anyway. Kaiba is on fire tonight. 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. What do you think about that?
I think it's what we expected. Big strikeout numbers in the regular season. Picking it up right here in the playoffs, trying to show out here on the biggest stage.
No doubt. What's wild to me is that ball goes straight to center for a leadoff single. Doe threw a good number more innings than Kaiba and still only had a little over half as many strikeouts on the season, despite his quality. Kaiba is just dangerous on the mound. Absolutely lethal. As another pickoff attempt goes to first. Trying to get Yashima there. And the bunt attempt is going to be pulled back. It's going to be balled 1 for Sakura Nomiya. Another very, very rounded option. I feel like that's something a lot of the teams ended up with at the bottom of their lineups were like very good rounded options, especially in the outfield.
Yeah, you saw a lot of players with kind of that skill set, and we get the steal here.
And got him. Got him at second. Great throw down from Yakumask. And that ball's going to be going to Kodaira at second. That's going to be a quick 2 outs. So despite giving up the single, we're now left with 2 outs and nobody on base as we get back to the top of the order for the champion rings. Wonderful throw there from Yakumask to gun him out, despite a decent jump.
And you saw a lot of mind games between the 2 players there. There were some pickoffs, there were some different pitches, and, it gets really complicated at the top level. It's not just first pitch and go like you see a lot in online play where people kind of being lazy with the running game.
Yeah, it's been very competitive and having to pick people off and play smart there. While we were talking, the inning finished, so now it is the Blizzard's turn to hit. We are in the top of the 4th. Quick pop-up to shortstop from Izuyoi, and it's going to be Sakigake now to keep things rolling. Taking 2 straight pitches at the same spot. Look at that. That's the exact same spot. And the forkball taken foul. Sakigake really been a leader for this team this season. Hitting a nice 366. He's one of the top 2 hitters on the team. He leads the team in stolen bases. But not there. He's struck out with that low forkball. And that is 6 Ks for Kaiba through these first 4 innings so far as it goes to Koldberg. And that's going to be popped up to left. That's going to end the inning right there. As he throws it up into the stands, having his superstar moment as we hit bottom 4. Score still 0-0, but this game has been flying. And the first pitch teed up to center for an out. Murasame covers so much ground out there, doesn't he?
Yeah, that one was just lined right up at him, though. You know, what I'm noticing, Bren's getting a lot of good contact. You know, some are getting through, some aren't right now. But I just feel like in terms of trends of the game, it looks like Brent's way more in control right now.
Thus far, yes, he is definitely controlling this, but Dish is still holding on. He's not let a runner past first base yet. The flip side is that I don't know if Bren has let a runner on base, period. Or no, he did. There was the steal. You're right. Quick ground out. That's going to be it for the inning. And we're going now to the top of the 5th. Kaiba versus Doe. This is the matchup everybody's here to see. These 2 pitchers squaring off in a strong duel as Kaiba throws in strike 1. It's going to be 1-1.
And people probably ask, oh, Kaiba, you know, has not let a runner get to first base in 4 innings so far. How often does that happen? Happens all the time in the EPL this season, and we're going to get a leadoff walk here, trying to be careful.
Yeah, but Doe is not going to be a threat on those base paths, though.
No. Big threat to get doubled off here. Let's see if we try and get creative with some hit and run or something.
He does. It's going to be popped into the infield, and he's going to get caught out for a double play on the pop-up trying to do a hit and run. The thing he tried to avoid is what bit him in the butt. And instead, it's going to be Ochiai at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on.
But anyways, yeah, we saw starters going, you know, no hit runners allowed 5, 6, 7 innings pretty often, honestly, I would say. I don't know if you had a similar experience, Bacon, but at least in my games, saw plenty of that this year.
Oh, yeah, definitely, at least when I was pitching. I know as I got later in the season, and with strikeout looking for Kaiba, that's 7 Ks now through 5. But going back to that discussion, yeah, it's something that definitely I noticed as well. Once I got past those first few games, I actually started hitting. It was when I was pitching that I would notice stuff like that. I had Haruto Aoba on my team this season, and he had, I think, 2 games almost in a row that he went 8 innings and only gave up like 1 hit each game. So having pitchers with some of those strong special pitches especially is very, very valuable. You've got Aoba with his slider, you've got Kaiba with that fastball, you've got Ken Yamaguchi with his drop pitch, which is somebody we might be seeing game 2 out of the Blizzard here. So we need to be ready for that. So just a little preview of what you might see later tonight. Ken Yamaguchi's forkball is deadly. But that is popped up. Doe is there, and that's going to be the inning. And we've finished 5 now, still 0-0. Heck of a game. Nobody really getting any advantage at the plate. It's all been a pitcher's duel. Beautiful placement on Kaiba's fastballs. Bren has, I feel like, almost a complete control over Kaiba and his placement. He knows exactly where he needs to put everything, and he does it with ease. As that ball is grounded to second, and Kazanagi gets it.
He's keeping it out of the middle of the zone, and really that's the only place you can really attack with no lock-on without being really lined up is the middle of the zone. You can be a little off, and you seem to get some better contact. But if it's anywhere near the edge of the strike zone, if you're not right on it, it's going to be a sour ground out just like we saw there.
Most definitely, and that's something that Bren is doing really well. He's spotting those corners. Look at that pitch right there, for example. That's beautifully placed in those corners. Nearly impossible to hit. And he 3 up, 3 downs the inning right there. We go bottom 6 now. Just absolute operator, this Kaiba. He didn't get any strikeouts that inning for the first time in a while. As that ball's going to sneak through into left for a leadoff single for the Rings. And now we wonder, is he going to try and make something of it? With Yashima, that S running speed on first. Is he going to do anything? Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. Popped up to the catcher on the bunt. That's going to be 1 out. And a total waste of that play.
Foul, though. Could have tried to drop it and try and get the faster runner out at second. Beneficial, though, is foul, honestly.
Yeah, most definitely. And that is going to be popped straight up to the catcher again. That's going to be 2 gone right there. And the Blizzard look like they're going to work out of this jam. If Doe can hold down the fort, a beautifully placed cutter for strike 1. And that fastball following suit. 0-2 now. He jumps off the base. He's going for it, and he is picked off. He tried to get the jump too much on him. Dish noticed, and he took him out. And we head into the 7th. Still 0-0. What a beautiful stop by Dish there, huh?
Trying to get the runner in scoring position there. You're willing to run yourself out down 0-2 in the count. But a little too greedy on trying to get that perfect jump.
Most definitely. And when you got somebody with an S running speed, sometimes you don't have to be quite so greedy with it. Going to be grounded foul. The flip side is when you got a catcher like Yakumask back there who's able to send an absolute cannon to second. You're going to have to get a good jump no matter who you're running with. And again, another wonderfully placed fastball from Kaiba. And popped up foul. Is Sakura no Miya going to get there? No, he tries, but he can't make it. Regardless, 0-2 count on Sakigake here. And the slider taken to center. And tracked down by Yashima. Did not think he was going to get to that, but he was able to track in and get it. And a big swing and a miss from Kohlberg now. What do you think are your high points of this game so far? What have been the key factors that we're going to have to watch for going into the rest of this series?
Just the lack of base runners for both players. Both of them being able to keep the bags clear. That's honestly where people got into trouble this season, is if a player could get 1-2 on, that's when people really started struggling, or really starting, runners in scoring position. People found a way to manufacture runs. And so I think both players keeping the bases clean, able to turn double plays, I think that's been huge and why we've been kind of cruising in this game so far.
Most definitely. And Kazunagi took that first one straight to center. Leadoff single again for the champion Rings. And that's going to be flied into left. Kohlberg chasing it down. He's there. And the runner's almost going for second. He decided to turn back. Kohlberg with a wonderful arm in. And
you were paying attention, not lollygagging out there.
Exactly. That's something that people have been trying to take advantage of this season, is trying to catch people sleeping. And that's going to be grounded to second. 1-2. That is the nice 4-6-3 double play. And gets Dish out of the inning clean yet again. Despite giving up early base running for the second or third inning this game, he has been able to work out of it with a runner on first with no problem.
Iba back on the mound, dealing so far, trying to see if he can keep this going, because frankly, the rate we're going at right now is we're going into extras, and you kind of need the difference between who's been giving up no hits and who's been giving up some, because, man, that's the difference once runners start on first and second in the top of the 10th.
Most definitely. But the other thing we have to watch for here is that stamina. Kaiba's starting to tick down a little bit, versus you have somebody like Doe who's not had to throw too many pitches. He's not been having as many counts watched against him like Dish is doing in this one right here, taking a full count against Kaiba. And Doe's got an S stamina. That could take him really far here. But Yakumask strikeout swinging. And Kaiba, that's got to be, I believe that's 8 on the game now. That has been... It's been a phenomenal outing here. And Ochi pops it up, and that should, with the little jump there... What was he doing? What was that?
We're just...
And Dish taking a second here. Not sure what happened there. I don't know if it was a controller issue or if he was trying to play around with the jump and he lost it. I'm wondering if that's what Dish made the pause for, maybe trying to reach out, see what happened. But instead, that ball's going to go into center. That's going to land, and we've got runners on the corners, 2 outs. The Blizzard somehow out of that into a dangerous hitting position. And Kaiba getting tired. He's going to have to work out of this now. He's got to get 1 out to get out of this. Can he do it? Beautifully placed second strike. Same spot as the first again. Can he finish it? Not there. And a mistake pitch that's sent to center. And it's going to land. That's a run for the Blizzard on a costly mistake from the champion rings. I still cannot believe that happened.
We were out of the inning, and it completely changes this game right now.
Most definitely. There were 2 outs right there. That would have been it. And that ball instead grounded to short. That's it. And now, Champion Rings, they're going to have to dig out of a hole against Doe, who still has almost half of his stamina. If he can maintain what's going on here. As that ball is sent to left, Koldberg tracking, and he gets there barely. Yeah, if Doe can just maintain at this point. That ball sent to right. Is that going to land? It does. Sakigake can't run in on it in time, and that's going to be 1 out, and Shibuya at the plate. Is this going to be Bren's time to shine, to make something happen? Shibuya for the season, not been crazy. He's hitting .271. Got 1 homer with that A power, but he's not in a great mood tonight, so he might not be able to do much, despite that menace ability. That said, you got that quick runner on first. You can make something happen, but he did not there. And it's going to be Yashima now. Definitely a speed option, as that ball got left a little fat. And it's going to go up the middle. The throw to first gets him just in time, and we go to the 9th with the Blizzard up 1-0. I still cannot believe this game is 1-0. I cannot get that through my head. And Zenzai coming in to close this thing out for the champion rings. Not a great stamina here, but depending on usage can be a decent closer. They got that nice special curveball, but that stamina is ticking down very quickly as that ball gets popped up, and it's going to be out number 1 to Kurosaki.
And there is the MLB minimum here, so even though we're out of stamina already, we still got to find our way to get through 2 batters, which can be done with no stamina, but that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and that's something that Dish is going to be looking to take advantage of. Now, I've seen Zenzai go a lot longer before as Sakigake grounds out there. I've seen Zenzai go for a long time before with G stamina. As long as you've got a good catcher behind the plate, it'll extend that bar. But not really looking like it's happening tonight. And despite that, Zenzai 1-2-3 inning, and we go bottom 9. It's all on Bren and the Champion Rings batters now. Can they get the hits they need? And we're going to have a pitch hitter here. It's going to be Kotetsu Honda. Got C contact, A power. Going to be bringing a strong hit attempt here for sure.
I think Bren is recognized at this point in the game. I think he's trying to sit on something. He's going to take 3 big hacks, with 3 hitters, and hope he can put something out.
And he does. It's into right. That's going to be a leadoff single for Honda. And I'm going to say it's likely we'll see a pinch runner here. Most likely, I'm going to say it's Niaptet. Or, no, sorry, Niaptet's on the Blizzard. Who could we see as a pinch runner here? It's going to be Kazanin with an A run speed. They're going to try and push something across here. Do you think we might see some small ball played trying to move that runner forward, or is he just going to go for it? Well, my question's been answered. There, we got small ball.
It is really hard to get bunts down in this game.
It is, but if you can do it, they're strong. But instead, that's going to be up the middle. 1, 2, that's a double play. We're down to the final out of game 1. Doe looking to finish this off against Kazanagi.
That double play depth, able to get that hit up the middle. We got one last shot here down to our final strike.
And that's going to be going to second. That's it. Kodaira with the field on the ground out. That is game 1 in the books. 1-0 win for the Blizzard. And I cannot believe that result. Despite all that happened, the one mistake that popped up, and that cost game 1. All it took was 1.
Absolutely insane, and honestly, it feels like Bren had the better contact, had the better game out of Kaiba for the most part, yet he's on the losing end in game 1 because it was just so close, so tightly contested, and going into game 2, it's going to be frustrating. I feel like if you're Bren, you're thinking that you should have had that one. You're really kicking yourself over the jump at second base, and man, you got to really focus back up and figure out a way to keep your cool going in game 2, because otherwise this could spiral quickly into a 2-0 series deficit.
Most definitely. So let's take a quick look there. You can see Doe, no strikeouts. 6 hits allowed, no strikeouts. And on the opposite side, Kaiba throwing 100 pitches, 8 strikeouts. A wonderful performance from Kaiba to start game 1, but he takes the loss anyways. And it's going to be Dish setting up the room for game 2 as the home team. Yeah, looking in our chat here for our broadcast, Koyo, 1 error, 1 run, a game already lost. Exactly. That's what we've been saying. It's one mistake in this league can cost you. It's not like some of the other leagues where that lock-on can save you. You can get the big hits. You got to scrape for every single point you get in this league. All right, well, Clutch, what are you looking for game 2? Who do you think we're going to see on the hill? Who do you think is going to be an impact player for each of these teams for game 2 as the Champion Rings try to come back from that deficit?
I'm thinking we're going to see the game 2 starters from round 1. So for Bren, that's going to be Red back on the mound. For Dish, that's going to be Yakumas. And so you got 2 great pitchers again on the bump. You're going to notice a trend, at least through 2 games, both teams are going to have strong starters always. And so we'll see how this one breaks out, but I'm expecting another low-scoring, tight affair here in game 2.
Most definitely. And that's something, again, yes, both these pitchers are phenomenal if we see them. Red sporting a .29 ERA, 5 wins and a save on the season. And Yakumask not in a good mood. And Go neither. And so it looks like Dish might actually be working down the depth chart a little bit here. It could be Kurama, it could be Isamura, or he might try to play through it with Yakumask. I don't know. The advantage here is he's got a game in hand. He might be able to make a bit of a play with it. But no, he's gonna go Yakumask.
See, I think you go Kurama there.
I could see that being done for sure.
Because then you can keep Yakumask in at catcher. You throw Yakumask game 3, hopefully with some better mood. But I guess then you don't get to throw him again in the series. So, you know, you throw him with a bad mood here, but you're going to have him available for game 5 then.
Yeah, speaking of availability, we've got Doe and Kaiba both on 2 games rest now. They will not be allowed to appear until game 4, if there is a game 4. And here come the teams. It's going to be Yakumask on the mound. Again, it's an interesting choice there, but Yakumask is also one of your best players. So, yeah, we're going to have to make a quick adjustment. And this is going to cost Dish. He wasn't able to get his lineup set in time. And so Kurama is essentially going to get wasted here. He wasn't able to confirm his lineup. His entire lineup is just wrecked right now. And he's going to have to put the whole thing together. And so this could hurt him a little bit. He might not be able to play with his best team in this particular instance.
Yeah, and you can't move around positions in the lab or anything like that. Yeah, the online timer can be a bit of a rush when you got to make some last-second decisions when you look at condition for each of your players. Yeah,
and so we're going to see right now that means Kurama will not be playing tonight at all. He has been pulled right there as Red takes that one foul. And Red confirmed, based on his position while he's hitting there, he is going to be pitching, and the Champion Rings will not be utilizing a DH for Game 2 as he takes strike 3, strikes out, looking.
Insane placement there in the inside corner.
Near perfect. And it was so perfect, I mean, he didn't even try to swing. As that ball's going to be smacked into left. Strong single. And we're looking at Raigao now with Kazunagi on first. Raigao's going to pop that up. And Yakuman 5 Go, who sat out Game 1 based on mood, back in now as a batting average leader for the Blizzard. It's going to be 2 gone for Taro Takemoto. And he's running. And he's there. 2-1 count. And a runner in scoring position early for the Champion Rings. As that ball is hit in the gap on the right side of the infield. The throw home. It's in time. He gets him. And that is going to be the end of the first. The Blizzard barely escaping that. With a wonderful throw home by Sakigake. What a throw. As we move into the bottom of the first, the score is 0-0, just barely. What a throw, Clutch. What a throw.
Big-time players make big-time plays, and see a big stop there at the top of the first to keep this game tied.
And Izio is going to take that one for a leadoff single. Both of these guys definitely starting this game stronger on the hitting side. I don't know if it's because they got a little warm-up, or maybe these pitchers just aren't on the same caliber as Doe and Kaiba. And beautiful.
At least for Dish, Red and Kaiba are very similar in my opinion. Really plays off the fastball, and so you kind of got used to where Bren's going to locate his fastball in Game 1, and so I think that plays a huge role here in Game 2.
And a walk. Sakigake takes first. We got runners first and second, no outs for Victor Koldberg. Going to try and do some damage here. And a double steal hit and run. It's going to move both runners, and we've got 2 in scoring position, 1 out. Smart play there from Dish.
Now I wonder, are we going to go for some fly ball action, try and get a sac fly, or are we going to try and bunt here? A couple options on the table here.
That's going to be smacked up the middle, right back to Red, and that's going to cost him. He's going to tag out the runner himself. And that's 2 gone. It's up to Ochiai to try and drive something in here. But yeah, what you were saying with Red, that placement on the fastball is definitely going to be key. But not having that rising action, I think, is going to help Dish try to track that a little bit better. And he's going to take that off the end of the bat, left side of the infield. Kirasaki is there. Gets him at first, just barely. And both teams close calls in the first inning. It's making for an entertaining ball game for sure. So with what you've seen this first inning, way too early prediction. Who's winning this thing?
I'm still going with Bren off of what I saw in Game 1. Just general season pedigree.
Understandably. And Bren really has had a strong pedigree, period, outside of the season as well. He's one of the stronger competitors when it came to the Olympic esports qualifying tournaments. He was top 3 in the Discord Invitational back earlier in the year. I actually had to beat him in the losers bracket final to play against Zumikaku in the final. And Bren was a hard game back then with a 55 cap team. I can't imagine now. And, well, I can't imagine. I played him the final week of the season trying to get a playoff spot, and he swept me and absolutely handed it to me. The man knows how to play. But that's going to be an 0-2 count now. Can Yakumask finish the inning? It's going to be sent to center. Murasama is there. And that's going to be the end of that. Go now to face red. We've been seeing some better contact on both sides, honestly, so far. So I'm curious to see if maybe we'll see some deep balls. Maybe they'll start getting daring, maybe try to hit some power shots. As that one's going to go into left, go with a leadoff single. And it's going to be
trying to hit a power shot because you're not getting anything else with Armored Knight.
Yeah, and now I did notice when he was trying to set his lineup ahead of time, he was trying to pull Naito out of the lineup, as Naito he's in a terrible mood right now. He was going to put Doe in at the DH slot, and I thought maybe he would have had maybe a shot at bringing in Doe to pinch hit there so he could cover the rest of the game, but did not go that route, and that's going to be 3 up, 3 down. Going to be a quick inning there, and we head into the third with that 0-0 scoreline. The question is, how long will that hold? And fielder controls made it a little tough there. Dish barely gets the out at first, and it's going to be Sakura no Miya at the plate now. Sakura no Miya, he's not hit well at all this season, sitting at a rather abysmal 176 average. Now 173 OBP. He's actually getting on base even less in some of those situations. But it doesn't matter. He's going to take that one to right. And it's going to be red now with a chance to make something happen. 1, 2. The Blizzard get the double play. They are out of the inning. And it's going to be Murasame now. Dish coming in clutch with yet another strong double play move.
That's been the story so far, is pretty much any threats on the base path have been doubled off. There has not been a lot of traffic for either team other than we're going to be talking about for a while, the one mistake getting last game.
Exactly. Horisugi got that fly out right there against Murasame. It's going to be a quick first out, and it's going to be Izuyoi now. One of the better players for the Blizzard, but he's going to hit a chopper to second, and Kazunagi gets there, 2 gone. That placement yet again from Bren. He's just painting those corners so nicely. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful ball placement. And he tries for it again, and Dish was sitting on that fastball up in the top corner this time, and he smacks it to center. And it's going to be Victor Kohlberg with 2 gone now. Is he going to try and sit on that same spot? Or like that right there, is Bren going to try and mix it on him? And Sakigake goes, and he's gunned by a mile. Absolutely gunned at second, and that's going to end the inning.
Had a feeling about the steal pitched out there, and that leads to the end of another inning. Again, just the runners on, but either running into outs, double plays, it just doesn't matter. Neither team putting up a threat, getting runners in scoring position.
For sure, and that's that same thing Dish was talking about early on with those stolen base numbers. The thing you don't see there is the caught stealing numbers. The amount of times you can take off with a fast player like Sakigake and get caught anyways. As Kazunagi, he's going to take that into center for a single, and it's going to be Raigao trying to make something happen here, and he's not going to do it. That's going to be 1 gone. Yeah, the base paths have been really aggressive this season overall. Oh, that's in the gap. That's going to deep center. And he's going to try and bring him 2. And he snuck home. He snuck in at home as the throw is being made to second. And that's a run for the champion rings.
I don't know if we have a play if we make the catch there, but an error at home. Absolutely insane, not able to put the tag down.
Well, even then, I don't, like you were saying, I don't know if there would have been a play at the plate. And that one is through for another single. Men on the corners, one out, and Bren is starting to flex his hitting muscles now. Starting to show why he is in the position he is. Smart play to send that runner home in a position that people would not generally think to do so. You would think that it'd be a scary spot to do it, but he sent him on, and it paid off.
Got the runner going towards second, and I didn't see if he delayed the send from home to try and bait the throw to second, but it was very interesting to see the throw going to second. Honestly, you had the runner at second, but turned around and threw it early to try and get the play at the plate.
Well, when you've got such a low number of outs, you've got to try and prevent that run at home. And he gets out of the inning giving up just one, but still down by that one now. And yeah, I was watching it pretty closely. I'm pretty sure there was a delayed takeoff at third. It looked like he held up to bait that throw to second because it looked like the Blizzard would get that runner at second. So he took advantage of that and got Dish to make that throw and proceeded to take off, and it paid beautifully. Wonderful play on the base paths from Bren. And Daita now trying to pull something back for the Blizzard. We've got one out here, bottom fourth. For those of you just joining, we're in Game 2 of the EPL Summit Series. Dish took Game 1, 1-0 on a bit of a dicey error that led to a run being scored a couple hitters later. But Game 2, the champion rings and Bren have taken over thus far, and we're sitting bottom four with a 1-0 lead to the rings. Pliskin in the chat, painting those corners like Bob Ross. Yes, that is exactly what Bren is doing. He is a Picasso on the corners as he forces a beautiful double play to end the inning. What do you think about that analogy? I'd say that's pretty perfect.
I can't think of anything better.
Yes, it's pretty good. And we've got called time here from the champion rings. I wonder if we're looking maybe a pinch hitter here for Yashima. I'm not sure if that's the best move, considering that would pull your S running speed out of center field. You want to be able to cover that ground. And that's something a lot of teams struggled with, was finding players that were very fast and also good otherwise. For example, you might see Neoptet come in later off of the Blizzard's bench with that S running speed, but not really a great player otherwise. But Yashima takes advantage. He's going to send that to center. And it's going to be no outs. Probably going to be one out now with that pop-up to Yakuman 5. Koyo says amazing base running to make up for the error last game. Wouldn't be surprised if this one also ends up 1-0. I could see that happening. These guys really are playing a competitive game.
It is that tight.
Smacked into center by Red, and that's going to put 2 on and 1 out yet again for the champion rings. They have really been controlling this game. And unlike last game, they've actually been able to string some stuff together. And Yakumask really pitching scared here. That's 2 straight low and in before throwing that fastball in for strike 1. That's going to be going into center. The throw's going to be coming into home, but I think that's going to score. And it does. 2-0 to the rings now. Sorry, Koyo, I think
was
you're
even
wrong.
close was comical. What an arm out there in center.
Most definitely. But that's going to slip through into left. And we got bases juiced, 1 out. The rings taking off, and it's their most dangerous hitter, Takamoto, here with that S power. Remember, 4 home runs on the season, 17 RBIs. And that just goes foul. That would have been 2 runs right there. Instead, swinging and missing for strike 2. Can Dish get out of the inning? No. That's going to squeak through. And 3-0 to the rings. Bases still loaded. And I think Dish might be in over his head here. I think Yakumask might have to come out soon. Do you think maybe it was a mistake starting Yakumask here? Like, I know Yakumask is a great pitcher. Oh, we got him on the rundown. But he gets back to third.
No, I don't think we're in over our heads starting him. And at this point, you go with your best pitcher, that's available. See if you can get through. Maybe you pull him a little bit early. But at this point, you're only in the 5th. You're just trying to get as many innings as you can out of him and not tax your bullpen for later in the series.
That is true. And it might be that kind of thing. Maybe he saw those pitchers with the good mood and he was thinking he could use them in a bullpen type setting for this game if Yakumask didn't go the distance. And it doesn't look like he will now. We got a 4-0 lead to the Champion Rings in the bottom of the 5th. They have really taken control of this game, on the hitting side especially, but Red also painting those corners, as Pliskin said, like Bob Ross, with that fastball. It's just so perfectly placed. As the pop-up to first. And there comes the sub, Naito, going to step out, and it's going to be Doe up to the plate. Ryuga Doe, who through this season has been one of the best hitters for the Blizzard. 472 average, 1.209 OPS, and 3 home runs. He is definitely a threat at the plate, not on the base paths necessarily, but he pulled a hit last game as well. And if he can latch onto one, it's going to go. As Dish's chat likes to say, ball go far. And that squeaks in. That's going to be a single. Doe, another hit in this series, proving why he should be the option whenever available. And it's going to be Yakuman 5 now, one of their most consistent hitters. Can they get something rolling here? And that's going to be smacked into center. Big hit, but it's straight to Yashima. And that really is one of the worst things, isn't it? Just all those strong contacts going straight at your hitters. Or your fielders, sorry.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it seems like the game really likes to attract your really good hits straight up at the center fielder.
Most definitely. And that's something I definitely experienced as well. And that's going to be a little bit of a lag there. But Kazanagi's going to get to it. That's going to end the inning. But yeah, that's something I definitely noticed in my experience as well. And Yakumask might be coming out here. It looks like it. And yeah, it's going to be Isamura onto the hill now. Isamura, been a decent pitcher this season, mostly in relief, but sporting a 1-2 record, unfortunately. Despite a fairly solid 2.43 ERA through 29 2/3. That's going to be 2 strikes there. So yeah, overall, Yakumask, how would you rate him for this game?
Up until getting in trouble that last inning, he looked fine, and honestly, some of those just kind of squeaked through. It was good contact, though, and sometimes that's what happens is, maybe you have a plan where you're going to pull a guy early because you're worried about, pitch count or condition, and, you just run into that one problem inning and you don't get him out of there in time, and, we see a result like we did here.
Most definitely. Nice fly out to left. That's going to be 2 gone. And Isamura not necessarily doing anything too crazy, and Champion Rings have been getting decent contact, but still getting the outs. As that ball is smacked deep right center. That is going. It is gone. Solo home run for Red. The first bomb of the series. What a shot, even though it just barely squeaked over at 128 meters. Still, to hit a home run there, that's got to be demoralizing.
We play on the deepest stadiums, and even with no lock on it, so it's hard to hit it. So when you hit it out, you got a hold of it, and Brent is just absolutely slapping the ball silly right now, getting great contact with all his hitters. Looks like he's locked in right now.
Most definitely, and even on that one right there, even with it being a flyout, that was difficult to get to, and it was smacked into right center. And Dish, meanwhile, is popping it up to Red for the first out. Champion Rings looking dangerous. This is starting to look a little bit similar to those score lines we were seeing from the last time these guys met. A close game in Game 1, and then Bren running away with it in Game 2. Will we see more of that as we get into the back part of this series, as these teams kind of get into their pitching depth? That's going to be a grounder to third. Rygao makes the play. 2 gone. Yeah, I think the thing we're going to have to consider now is we're going to have to be looking at third starters. We're going to have to be looking at bullpens as we get into the game after this. We're going to have to see what is that pitching depth going to look like. And that's going to end the inning there. But yeah, it's going to be... Bren's not going to have those top 2 guys anymore. You know, he's going to be past them. How is he going to hold up in Game 3? Before bringing back on, I presume, Kaiba come Game 4, because there will be at least a Game 4 no matter what. You look at the Rings bullpen, as that's 1, 2, beautiful double play. But you look at the Rings bullpen, and some of them have pitched well this season, but we don't know necessarily what we're going to see here. My guess is probably, like you said before, Narumi coming on for Game 3, but Narumi has taken, 2 of the 6 losses for the champion rings this season. Do you think that's going to be a problem here?
Not if we're swinging the bats like we are right now. That's just the thing is, if you have, if you can put up 5 to 6
that ball's
runs,
through. Sorry, that ball is through. And he's going to go for third. He's making the hustle. Can he get there? He's in. He's in at third. No outs and a runner on third for the Blizzard. Sorry to interrupt you there. But that big play and the diving attempt in center, the ball squeaked on through. And suddenly...
5 to 6 runs in the EPL, doesn't matter who you have on the bump, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, most definitely. But we'll have to see. Can the Blizzard try to start bringing that rally together? That's going to go to the left side. What a play from Rygao. Beautiful jumping catch. And that's going to hold down the fort, at least for now, as Go tries to make something happen here.
Times it up perfectly to take one away, keep it a scoreless ball game.
Most definitely. Those plays are hard to make. I mean, between the two of us, we've made a few, and that's not easily done. He's going to go for home, and he got him. No run here for the Blizzard. Possibly a mistake to send him there. He was trying to force that run through, and it just didn't happen.
Didn't even need the infield in, was able to play the play. Just hit too hard.
And Doe going to smack that into right center. That's going to drop. And that's going to put runners on the corners, 2 outs. Dish threatening again. It seems like he's starting to figure this out a little bit. And Red, despite that S stamina, he's wearing down. And that's going to be through the middle off of Red. Can he make the play? He does. Just barely. And somehow the Blizzard did not score that inning.
Trying to decide here if we're going to go with Isimura for another inning or not. We're at 18 pitches right now, so frankly, you go another batter, you're going to be down 1 game.
True that. And that's going to be smacked into left center. That's going to be at least a 2-bagger. Despite Murasame's arm, there's no stopping that run. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what decisions these guys make for Game 3. With the Rings, I could see them going for Narumi. I could see them going for a more recent pickup in the midseason draft, as that play is coming for home. No attempt at the plate, and it's 6-0 Rings. Beautiful RBI by Shibuya. And the Rings are looking to end this game early, get that mercy rule. And they are trekking towards it. 2 on, no outs, both in scoring position. Now, the bottom of the inning will be played regardless, but it looks like Dish might get mercied here. The runner's going for home. Got him. And that's going to be 1 out. Runners on the corners. Red now.
Such a slow grounder. I'm surprised we weren't able to get a better jump there. Runners, when they start going back a little bit, that does kind of throw everything off.
It looked like that infield was playing in, though. They were ready for that slow chopper, and they were able to make it happen. That's going to be the 0-2. Chopped to third. He's going for home, but it doesn't matter. 5-4-3 double play. The Blizzard are out of the inning with only 1 run given up, and there will be no mercy rule tonight. At least not this game, as Red starts tiring out. But backtracking now, let's see. HF says he thinks Tachikawa will be Bren's choice as starter in Game 3. Tachikawa could be an option. My concern is that Tachikawa is a little hittable, as Red strikes out Murasame looking there. 1 gone. One of the few strikeouts Red has gotten this game. Now, in my mind, there is another option here, and that is the midseason pickup for Bren of Graviton Arai. I could see that being his choice. It sticks with that fast fastball theme. He's got a 155-kilometer fastball, A stamina. I could see that being his choice here. Try and keep that heat up, make it hard on Dish in that Game 3. That's going to be in the gap, and he's going for third. The throw, not in time. And we got runners on the corners, 1 out for Victor Koldberg. And it looks like Red might be getting the curtain call here after 101 pitches. And it's going to be Graviton Arai, as mentioned previously. Coming in relief, which is something he doesn't necessarily have a specialization in. But sometimes it doesn't matter. The runner for second, he makes it. The pick thrown behind him, but it didn't matter. And suddenly we have 2 in scoring position and 1 out. And Graviton Arai putting it past Koldberg with that fastball. And the changeup, lethal. Lethal speed change.
Hold the string. Now, Arai doesn't do well in relief, yet has the Tyrant ability, which only activates when you bring a pitcher in relief.
Yeah, it definitely makes for an interesting look, and that's one of the reasons at the time I didn't realize with the Tyrant ability, I didn't draft him because he wasn't a relief option. I wasn't looking for another starter, but he walks Daita, and that's going to load the bases with 2 outs here. Dish is going to have to make something happen. That gyro ball ability as well for Graviton Arai is just making it very tough as we hit an 0-2 hole. And it's going to be smacked up the middle. Arai, beautiful catch. Wonderful reflexive move. That's going to send us into the 9th. No runs still for the Blizzard despite that beautiful setup. And that's one of those things that I feel like is really hard about this league is you get players in great positions like what Dish did there. He loaded the bases. And you just can't get that last hit to knock him in.
I think the toughest thing is because of the lack of being able to go for big swings and things like that, there's a lot of extra base hits taken out of the game. And so, you know, it is a big just, you know, singles hit parade. And if you got to string 3-4 together, that gets really tough.
Most definitely. You got to string them together and you got to get those runners moving. And that ball's going to be gunned into second. Got him at second. What a throw from Murasame. Beautiful throw from center.
Ishimura going to get pulled here, trying to keep him to only 1 game Rex, so you can see him available again in Game 4.
What was his pitch count at right there? 33. Okay, yeah, just kept him under that, so he will be available come Game 4. And it's going to be Yakuman 1 go trying to close this thing out. At this point, it looks like Dish is just doing damage control. And all he really needed was the 1 out, so there he goes. So it's going to be bottom 9 now. Dish has to get 6 to send us to extras. This is going to be a battle here.
If we're trying to keep it under 20, that's 12 right there.
Yep, and he's keeping a close eye on that pitch count. He's trying to assess those options. And broken bat, heading to the right side of the infield. Not even a close play. And Go out of there. Go has just not really had a great season at the plate outside of his RBI numbers. Hitting below 200 for the regular season. Went 2 for 8 in the semifinals. And thus far in the finals has not been producing either. And Doe, big swing and a miss. That changeup after that 155-kilometer fastball is just deadly.
Forget about it.
I know.
Here comes Ireki. Good reliever in my book.
And it's going to be Niaptet coming on to hit in a rare pinch hit performance. Not often you see Neoptet get the opportunity to hit. Neoptet only has, 11 plate appearances on the season. Been used primarily as a relief fielder and as a pinch runner, but that's going to be a single into left anyways. And suddenly we've got an S-speed runner on, but 2 out, and it's going to be Murasame, despite that contact being one of the better hitters on this team. He's going to send that to left, and that's going to be another single. And suddenly, wheels are turning. I would be concerned if I was Bren for Game 3. I wouldn't be concerned yet. But for Game 3, I would be watching out because the Blizzard are starting to hit.
I'm actually less concerned about Game 3 as a whole. I'm more thinking about, you just brought in Areki, which is probably one of your shutdown relievers. Got hit hard for the first 2, and so you're a little bit worried, can I go back to him in a big situation, or do I need to see him, have a little cleaner inning and mop-up duty maybe again before I'm willing to turn to him in a big situation?
For sure. But that is going to be it for Game 2. Kazunagi, 3 hits today, is our MVP. And a beautiful game out of Brennan the Champion Rings. I think this is going to be really intriguing here. And it's going to be interesting to see who that pitcher is going to be for Game 3 for both teams. With how he did in a relief option, I could see Graviton Arai coming back in. With having kept that pitch count low, he may come back for Game 3. He seemed to be very successful.
Yeah, that's an option for sure. You got a couple guys to go with on Bren's side. Dish, very curious to see what we come out with too as well.
Yeah.
I think this is the swing game in the series.
Most definitely. This is going to be the one that really is going to give an advantage to somebody. And looking at it from Dish's perspective in terms of his inning counts for the season, the pitchers he's really used primarily as his number 3 have been guys like Go, Isamura, Kurama. But there is one option here that has been bumped down the pecking order, and we might see here for Game 3, and that is Ken Yamaguchi with that deadly drop pitch. I think that could bring potentially an advantage in depth for Dish on the mound.
So let's just talk about Game 1, 9 combined hits. Game 2, 29 combined.
Yes, they've opened the floodgates now that they've figured each other out a little bit.
And only 1 run for Dish between both games, even with all those hits now in Game 2. But, with both players putting it together, you really got to believe that we could see a 7-5 here in Game 3. That's what I was going. Bren 7-5. That's what I'm going with. For Game 3.
All right. Yeah, I'll hear you on that one. We got a question from Pliskin. Do we think they're going to do all the games in the series tonight, or are we going to see a 2-night deal? This is going to be a 1-night deal. We're going to go until we're done. So, as far as I know, we're going to finish it tonight. This will be really good here. HF in the chat explaining his thoughts on Tachikawa abilities, including with Risp B, Poise B, Heater A, Iron Ball, Momentum versus Slugger. Definitely a formidable list there, HF. I think that Tachikawa is a good pitcher, but I don't think he'll be the option here. Most likely, with the way Bren has been playing, I think he's going to stick to the heat. But that said, we're going to have to hurry up and get these lineup choices in, or we're going to have to repeat of last game. Hurry. Did he get it? I don't know. Hopefully he did. And here we go for Game 3. And it's going to be Yuto Narumi on the mound for the Champion Rings in Game 3. You predicted that one pretty well there, didn't you?
Spot on. What can I say?
Yeah. Narumi, not quite the same speed as what we've seen in our last couple of pitchers, but a solid player regardless. looking at, 145 kilometers. You still got that nice B control in there. And the special forkball at level 3. Going to make it a little hard to hit. And then a wonderful hitter behind that if used in that manner. But that's going to be smacked into left. A leadoff single for the Blizzard. It's going to be Sakigake now. Narumi in a good mood, so I can understand that choice. But it'll be interesting to see when you got a little bit of a slowdown if that will affect Dish's hitting. Will he be able to latch on better? The 2-2 pitch. And that special forkball just low. Great eye from Dish. It's going to be a full count. And he pops that one up. Roppongi is there. One gone. What are your thoughts here, Clutch? Do you think that we'll be able to have some more production from Dish this game? Do you think we're maybe seeing the crack in Bren's depth?
Seeing how we were almost on it last game, we just weren't able to get the key hits to drive in runs. Yeah, I get the feeling we're going to be able to crack some runs in here. And it looks like we might be able to do it right here.
Yeah, runners on the corners now after that Koldberg single. And only one out. Narumi and Bren very concerned about base runners here. And trying to see if he's going to try and do a suicide squeeze or potentially send Koldberg to second. Maybe try to do some base running work. But instead, that's going to be popped up to the infield. And Kazanagi is there, 2 gone. And it's going to be Ochiai now. That special forkball, while not being anything too crazy, it is still formidable. One of those pitches that's just very hard to hit. That's going to be smacked deep left. Horisugi is under it and sends it up to the stands after because it couldn't make it there on its own. And Go going to take the mound in Game 3 here. A lot of heat, a lot of control. Nothing too crazy on the breakers, though. What are your thoughts on the pitcher selection here, Clutch?
Well, it epitomizes the difference in and lines it down the left field line. We're going to get a double here. But it epitomizes the difference in zero lock-on. Go, not even a consideration for a pitcher when you play with higher lock-on levels. But with that good control and even that little bit of breaking stuff, you're not expecting to miss bats, but you're just hoping to put it off with solid contact. That's what you're really going for. So it becomes a much better option, but, leadoff double, well, 2 out or 1 out double.
Yeah. And yeah, that's exactly it. Like, if you Go, when you pick him up for regular play, you're picking him up as a third base option and as like a spare pitcher if you need him. In this league, though, pitchers come at a premium when you're only allowed to have 8 primarily pitcher players on your roster. So to make that decision to grab him, and that's going to be a single to left and a quick 1-0 for the Champion Rings right out the gate in the first inning. But we've seen hitting on both sides already, so this could be a slugfest. But yeah, back to what you were saying, that's exactly it. Go's pitching speed is what makes him dangerous here. And that's why certain players in this league are really ones to watch out for. Guys like Mileman or Daigo Getsu, who just have a lot of pitching speed behind them. Or guys like Doe or Kaiba. They're dangerously fast, and in a league where there's no lock-on, it's very hard to keep up. Beautiful placement, though, on that forkball. It's going to be 1-2. And Doe just looking to get a bat on it here. It's going to be 2-2. And the chopper to second, there's no hope for Doe running that out. It's going to be Samejima at third. This, I believe, is his first action of the Summit Series. Samejima, decently rounded third baseman, but didn't see a ton of action this season as he sends that one for a single. Only 14 plate appearances regular season. But he comes in handy right there, gets the hit, and it's going to be Kodaira now. It's going to be the 0-2 here. And pitches out, watching for that runner. And it's going to be sent up the middle, off the pitcher, and that ruined the double play chance by the pitcher getting a glove on that. If you're Bren right there, is that something you're okay with?
As long as you get out of it. And we will.
It looks like it. Yep. That's going to be it. He gets out of it. But could have been scary there, that runner on second. Instead, we had bottom 2, and it's going to be Roppongi getting their first action of the series. That's going to be smacked. Beautiful dive. Izuyoi throws it to first, and Ochiai with the scoop. Great play at shortstop. And that's the kind of power that you have, that a shortstop like Izuyoi can bring. And Murasame trying to throw everybody out from center.
I was going to say, if that was online, that might have been a play. That was surprisingly close.
And bunt laid down, third baseline. Almost beats it out. That was dangerously good. But advances the runner at least. It's going to be 2 gone, and it's heading for the stands. Foul. Sakura no Miya with a chance to extend this lead here. And that's going to drop in left. Kohlberg going to try and make a play. No, he holds up. And it's going to be 2-0 to the champion rings. It's just been that difference of getting that one hit, isn't it? You need that one hit to drive in the runs. And that's going to end the inning there. But that's really what it is, Clutch. It's all about getting that last hit you need, and that's something Dish just has not been doing.
Yeah, it's exactly the difference right now. Both players have really gotten the hits going, but it's just finding a way to grind out a run here and there on Brent's side that's given him the advantage. Pretty big advantage at this point.
Yes, most definitely. And it's pushing him to a 2-0 lead through 2 innings. And it makes you wonder how quickly Dish might turn to the bullpen here, or if he'll be able to do damage control on the hitting side. As he sends that one into right with Sakigake, that's going to be a single with 1 out. And now is he going to try for second? Or is he going to try and hold up here out of concern that he's going to get picked?
I think you let Kohlberg try and hit away here first.
Kohlberg does so, and that's going to be a beautiful diving play by Roppongi for the double play. What a catch. It's plays like that that make the difference. It's going to be Raigao now for the champion rings. Can they try to extend their lead this inning, keep that pace of a run an inning, and they will be in good shape in no time. And that one left really fat. And Raigao sends it to center. If I'm Dish here, I'm going to have to be playing damage control. I'm going to have to be trying to force double plays and tough hits everywhere I can. And he does so right there.
Loud contact, but we'll get the old play to finally put a donut on the board.
Yep, beautiful 6-3 double play. And held them scoreless for the first time this game. We're going to see now if that'll hold. And that's smacked to center. Yaku Mask takes it into his own hands, and that's a home run. 150 straight to center. Oh my, we have a ball game.
And we weren't getting the key hits, so we just said we're going to try and put it over the wall instead, and we do so. And now we only got a 1-run game.
And despite Narumi being lucky, that was not lucky in the slightest. We've got a wonderful play there. Ball go far. If you guys can see it on the screen, that's Dish's chat. Ball Go Far is alive and well here in the Summit Series. And that's going to be smacked to center for another single. And suddenly, the Blizzard looking dangerous again. And Narumi's starting to resort back to that forkball after having gotten maybe a little settled with that fastball. And Doe going to send that up to center, and that's going to be out number 1. But yeah, what I was saying before, I thought, Dish is going to have to play damage control. That might not be the case anymore. Hit and run, and avoids getting doubled up on it, but not a great play. A little more power on it maybe, and you had a runner on third.
Yeah, good read there to know that the shortstop's going to fall back on that and be able to make the catch.
Yep, and it's going to be a grounder to Rygao at third. That strong arm of his makes the play. And it's 1-2 now, heading bottom 4. And the Blizzard getting a little life into him. Hopefully, for their sakes, they can keep that going. And maybe shut some things down defensively and maybe have a chance at taking Game 3 in this really important swing game. Because Game 4, I expect to be just another pitcher's duel.
Gotta have a shutdown inning here. Keep the momentum.
It's going to be sent to second. Tough catch, but Kodaira is there. That's going to be 2 gone. For anybody who may just be joining, we are in Game 3 of the EPL Summit Series. This is the championship between Bren and dishnet34. Currently 1 game apiece on the series. What a catch by Ochiai. And that's going to end the inning. But yes, we are at 1 game apiece. This is the swing game right here in a best-of-5 series. This is really going to determine who has a great chance at winning this thing. And Urasame going to ground out to second. 1 gone. Big strike 1. Again, Bren has been living on placement, catching the black almost every pitch. Almost got it there.
Doesn't get the call there.
Doesn't get the call. And instead, that's going to be slapped into center for a single. But yeah, that close. I mean, you see how well that placement is put in there. That was almost a strikeout looking just on placement. And you can see Bren really concerned about that runner on base. But Sakigake is making him worry about the hitter at the plate. Sends it into center. Strong single. Sakigake continuing his hot form as of late. And it's going to be Koldberg to try and make something happen here. And that's going to be popped into right. It's going to get past the first baseman. Are we going to see the runner go home? We do, and no play at the plate. It's 2-2. And we have a ball game, folks. It's all tied up in the top of the 5th. And Narumi might be getting the curtain call here. As Yaku Mask, who hit that solo bomb last time at the plate, and it's going to be Gravitano Arai coming back in after his relief in the last game. Bringing that heat up about 10 kilometers an hour from Narumi. And Arai put out a really good performance in relief, a very short relief appearance last game. Strikes out Yaku Mask there. 2 gone. Is Graviton going to get them out of this? We're freezing up a little bit here. And tries for the pick. Doesn't happen. That's going to be bounced foul. Bren really watching these base runners. And he goes for second. Big swing and a miss, but it gets the runner over there. And we have 2 in scoring position with 2 strikes. If Ochiai can put it in the grass, that might be 2 runs. Because Koldberg's got some speed. Quick shift adjustment. And that's going to be smacked. And Kazanagi is there. Just barely to make the catch. But the Blizzard have taken control of this game. the last couple innings. Sitting now at 9 hits to Bren's 5.
Barely able to get out of the inning there for Bren. Keeps him in this game and tie game. Looks like the bats were hot to start the game. See if we can get him back going.
Yeah, it's going to be something he has to do now. And looks like he's going to maybe be able to go a little deeper. I'm wondering if maybe our catcher we're working with here, I believe Ochiai might be behind the... Or no, Yakumask is behind the plate. And Yakumask does have a catcher ability, which would help his pitcher's stamina. That's going to be sent into left, though. That's going to be at least a 2-bagger. I don't think Kohlberg will get him. No, he holds it first. That's going to be 1 on, 1 out for Graviton Arai in the leadoff spot, but with an A power. Going to pop up to left, and Kohlberg will be under it. And yeah, for the Blizzard, Yakumask, with that catcher B ability, that's really going to help his pitcher's stamina while he's behind the plate. And I wish, as a player in the league, that I had known that made a difference early on, because I could have had some of my pitchers go so much further had I had catchers with that ability. And he runs it out at first, well-placed ground ball into the infield, and suddenly Champion Rings, bases loaded and 2 out. It's going to be smacked up the middle, and the Blizzard get out of it. 3 hits given up, the bases juiced, but no runs out of it, and we're going top 6 now. It's going to be Doe to face Arai.
Yeah, Bacon, as you were saying, with the catcher abilities, things like that. We kind of talked about in the pregame about some people didn't realize what really is good, and especially in a league that is so important with pitching. Having your top 2-3 pitchers go deeper into a game because of that catcher ability is probably more important than having a good hitter behind the plate, honestly.
Most definitely. And there are other things definitely to consider. You look at that arm strength, you look at that fielding, but having an ability that really helps your pitchers, that is huge. That's going to be flied out to left as the pump throw just sits there. And it's going to be Arai. Looks like he'll probably take one more batter here. Really getting his pitch count watched. They want to keep him below 20 so he can just be usable every game. And that's one of those strategies that we discussed early on, is do you have those pitchers that you just really closely monitor so that you can use them for a couple innings every game? And a quick ground out there. It's going to be Roppongi now. And that's going to be grounded to second, and that's going to be 2 gone. It's going to be Shibuya at the plate. Smacked over near shortstop, and Izio's there, and that's the inning. We go into the 7th. It's 2-2. We have a game on our hands, Clutch.
Yeah, it looked like Bren was going to run away with this one early. Dish able to claw his way back in. I think we're going to see a pitching change now.
And it's going to be Maito Oda. This player, he is not designated as a pitcher, but he has some wonderful pitching abilities. 152 kilometer an hour, S stamina. He's got a 5 on that sinker type pitch. He is one to watch for. I actually faced him when playing against Bren, and that circle change, that's that 5 pitch right there. Deadly pitch for that speed change, similar to what Graviton Arai has with that changeup.
I think he is going to be picked up higher because he kind of breaks the rules a little bit. Everyone's supposed to be limited to 8 pitchers, so that way, every team doesn't run out of pitchers, but then he's got Iron Ball, he's got the good breaking stuff, and he's not designated as a pitcher, and you have plenty of spots on your bench for hitters, honestly, more than you know what to do with.
Most definitely.
Very valuable for the roster rules in this league.
Most definitely, and that's one of those things right there, as he gets the strikeout against Sakigake, who's been one of the better hitters this game. And the first pitch goes straight into left. But yeah, that's one of those things we got to talk about. Like, it's all based on primary positions. And so you have players like that with Oda, or you have like Ryo Tomosawa, who is my new shortstop I picked up in the midseason draft. Sneaky pitchers. And that's one thing that as you're evaluating players, especially in this league, you watch for. As that ball's going to go into center, he's going to go for home. Murasame didn't get there to make that throw, and it's 3-2 to the champion Rings. All of a sudden, we have a lead for the Rings, and Oda is going to hit it into the double play, the 5-4-3, but not until a run has been scored. And that might tip the scales in Bren's advantage, as Dish is having to face some faster pitchers again, and it might be coming back to bite him. We are now top 8, still 3-2. Koldberg fouls that off just barely. It's going to be a 1-2 here. And you've really got to watch for that circle change. That's one of the things that is dangerous with those kinds of pitches, is you get that speed change that's that extreme and nobody has a prayer. It's 2-1 now. Dish looking to make something happen here with Yakumask. If he can send one deep again, tie this game up in one swing. Instead, that's going to be popped up to left. Horisugi is under it, 2 gone.
It's very interesting. We were trying to send it out, and then we get a 3-1 count, known as a count where you just sit on one pitch and try and drive it somewhere, and decide not to do it. It flies out to the left instead.
Yeah, and it's going to be Ochiai popping that into right for a single, and it's going to be Doe hoping to do some damage here. The question here is, what pitch do you sit on? He doesn't look like he's really inclining himself any particular direction. It's 0-2. And gets him with the circle change. Oda out of the inning. And the Blizzard going to be kicking themselves for that one. That's going to be a ground out to third for Raigao. Go pulling it pretty deep this game. He's just now starting to get tired in the bottom of the 8th. He's pitched a long one, but he's eaten up a lot of innings, which is probably helpful to pitching depth for Dish. And that's going to be 2 gone. And the other thing to think about after this, the only ineligible pitchers, as Kotetsu Honda steps into the plate for some power. The only ineligible pitchers for the Blizzard most likely will be Yakumask and Go. Isamura, he's going to be back after this game, and almost that whole pitching depth will be open to the Blizzard. Whereas you've had somebody like Bren, he's maybe dipping into the bullpen a little more, but he's also spreading it out so that he can save his arms. And Senzai coming in as a pinch runner and goes on the first pitch. And that is going to be the inning. And we head to the 9th now. It's going to be up to the Blizzard. Can they pull one across to keep this game going? Or is this it? And they're going to go down 2-1 going into Game 4. Most likely against a dangerous Kaiba. And Oda might be coming out. No? He holds. He's at 25
pitches, so 9 more before ineligible for 2 games.
Yeah, and he's already going to be guaranteed at least 1 game rest. But he might be able to finish this game the way it's been going. It's going to be strike 1 there with 1 out. And the circle change gets Dish ahead of it. It's going to be fouled off 0-2. Tries to get him with the circle change again, low. Can't get him to bite. And again low. 2-2. Almost places that fastball perfect. 3-2, the 12-6 curve taken to Raigao. That's 2 gone, and we are 1 out away from a 2-1 series lead. And it looks like Murasame's coming out. It's going to be Yakuman 5 go with that A contact trying to make something happen here. And Oda most likely is also coming out. Only 2 pitches away from that 35 pitch mark. No, Oda stays. They're going to make the decision to let Oda rest. And with that, we're not going to see him on the mound again this series. And that's going to be taken into left. Rygal tries to jump, doesn't get there. That's going to be a hit for the Blizzard. And we're going to get a pinch runner now. It's going to be Neoptet. That's B stealing base ability and the S running speed. And Izuyoi going to try and hit something for Neoptet to chase around the bases. And it's going to go. The throw out beats Neoptet. That's game. Thrown out at second. Bren read that situation like a book and gunned him out at second. What do you think about that?
I figured that you're not trusting yourself to get the big hits. Figured even after 2 upstairs fastballs, figuring that, kind of that one step ahead, figuring that he's going to throw a strike, decides to just throw the pitch out instead and just absolutely guns down the runner to end the game. Yeah,
beautifully smart series from Bren. And he's going to take a 2-1 series lead now. This is a best of 5, unlike anything we've had so far this season. So there's still at least one more game to be had. And both teams hit really well. 10 hits for Bren, 12 for Dish. But still falls to a 3-2 game. Again, it comes down to finishing those opportunities. And yet we still have a couple players there, multiple hits. You had Izuyoi 2 hits. Sakigake 2 hits. Go put up a fairly decent game through 8 innings, but still gave up those 3 runs, and that got him. HF makes a really good point right here in the chat. Bren left Oda in there because he's confident in Kaiba. That's got to be the reason. And I could very well see that. If he's confident that Kaiba will finish it in Game 4, that could be it, yeah. That might be ball game. So it all really comes down to, can Kaiba pull it off? And we don't even know what mood Kaiba might be in. He could be just miserable and struggle the entire game.
Now that would beg for an interesting Game 4.
Undoubtedly. We'll have to see how that goes. But here we come now. Dish gets home advantage this time for Game 4. If we have a Game 5, Bren will be the home team due to higher record for the season. So it's going to come down to that. I'm looking forward to next season when we get to it. I think we've had some ideas floating around that could be really good. For example, there's one I had thrown out at one point about the possibility of maybe having a League All-Star game partway through the season if we're tracking stats. Be able to put together a team of All-Stars and have maybe the top 2 players control 2 All-Star teams. I feel like that could be really good. Have like a little mid-season break for that. Also looking at dropping the division structure, which could be helpful for some teams to maybe make the playoffs when they wouldn't have before.
I think it just makes it clearer, too. I think you either have to commit to no divisions and keeping the 3-game sets, or possibly turning your division series into you play each opponent twice, so 6 games total. Almost like real baseball where you play 3-game series at home, all 3. So you do 1 home, 1 away, and then maybe you play an interleague of 1 game against each team from the other division. Would lengthen the season a little bit, but that would be what would make the divisions, matter. Otherwise, go for a balanced schedule and just ditch the divisions, honestly.
For sure. It looks like we're going to see Doe on the mound for Game 4, as expected. Nobody really in a particularly good mood out of the bullpen crew. And Doe looks like he's going to hit. Not going to use a DH this time around. A couple players in a bit of a rough mood. Are we going to see Go come out here? Evaluating the idea. Throwing Neoptet in. At second base, possibly.
Looked good in the 1 at bat.
Looked good in the 1 at bat, and when you got players in a good mood, you take advantage. Yakuman also in a good mood. Surprisingly not getting in the lineup here, though. That one's kind of a shock to me, with Yakuman being as good of a hitter as they are. So we'll have to see what happens there. Probably going to be a reliable pinch hitter later. And we head to Game 4 now. And it's going to be Doe on the hill. And leading off is going to be Kaiba. Confirmed he will be pitching. And he's in a good mood. Oh boy. We are in for a pitcher's duel yet again. Or are we?
Hot take: Kaiba is going the distance and less than 2 hits.
Going the distance. You can see Dish's chat somewhat on screen. Somebody commented, power move showing your red-faced Kaiba in your first at bat. Definitely a power move there. I wouldn't say it's a hot take for Kaiba to go the distance. I wouldn't say it's a hot take for Doe to go the distance. 2 hits, I could see that being a hot take. I think with the way this series has progressed, I think Dish should do better than 2 hits now. I think both of these guys are kind of awake at the plate, but this is still going to be primarily a pitcher's game. And that ball played to short, despite the steal with the hit and run, that's going to end the inning. And Kaiba on the bump to face Izuyoi to start this inning off. That fastball tossed right up in that top corner for a strike. Now he's only hitting about 138 with it at the moment, which he's not throwing his plus version, so he's not really given the gun yet. And that slider placed in 2-2. That's smacked into center. Good contact. It's going to be an out. But it seems like that may bode well. Maybe he's starting to figure out Kaiba a little bit. Well-placed slider. About as perfect as you can get on the edge. And that's going to be smacked by Sakigake into center. And it will drop. 1 gone and a runner on. And I think your I think your 2-hit hot take might be in jeopardy already.
It's looking like an extremely hot take instead of only kind of one.
He let it drop as a smart play. He could have caught that in the air, but he chose to let it drop and turn the double. And it paid off tremendously. And that's going to get him out of the inning. We go to the second, 0-0. And Horisugi at the plate. Now, I feel like having a player like Horisugi sitting in your outfield could be considered a bit of a liability in this league. And that is primarily due to that running speed only being an E. I feel like that's something a lot of people are watching for in that outfield. They're trying to get people that can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, absolutely. There's enough outfielders that can do it that honestly it really is not an ideal choice, but sometimes you need the bat in the lineup.
Yeah, and that's even with a blue mood. Choosing to put Horisugi out there, but Horisugi's covered left field the first 3 games pretty well. So it may just be for that bat, and it may pay off here. That ball's going to be sent into left. Kohlberg, clean grab. McCannon home is a power move, just to show off that arm. And it's going to be Shibuya to take that first pitch for a ball. And Go can't get to it. It's going to go into left. Kohlberg makes the throw to hold him at first. And it's going to be Yashima. That knuckleball, beautiful placement. And that's going to be sent into right. Sakigake is there, and that is the inning. So both teams get scattering some hits over these first couple innings, but still holding each other to a 0-0. And it's going to be that pitcher duel yet again, Doe versus Kaiba. Can Doe get an advantage this time? Or is he going to be stuck dealing with that fastball? He's going to take the advantage. He's going to rip it straight into center for a leadoff single. Almost got gunned from center because he's just got no run speed. And it really does make you wonder, is Dish figuring this out? We're already at 2 hits now. And Kaiba was not giving those hits up game 1. I feel like that's something else we haven't really talked about here as Yakumask strikes out, is that one of the advantages of this longer series is that you're going to see these pitchers on repeat, and you're going to know how to play against them the next time you face them.
No lock-on is all about adjustments and getting a read for the pitchers, and I think that's why, like we talked about it earlier, you would see pitchers go 5, 6, 7 innings, no hits, and they could possibly lose that game because someone gets a read in the 8th or 9th, and if the other team wasn't putting up runs in the meantime, you know, that's all it takes. And so, yeah, once you get through the lineup 4, 5, 6 times against a pitcher, you're going to start noticing some tendencies from the player controlling them, and that's honestly what it really comes down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what we're seeing here now that we're in this second game for Kaiba. Is Dish maybe didn't get a great read on him last game, but he's seen enough of him now that early in this one he's chasing him a little bit. But instead, that's going to be a strikeout right on the edge. Kaiba pulling that control together and getting out of a tough spot. But it's starting to look a little dicier. Honestly, Kaiba's not performing maybe quite as well as Bren would have hoped so far.
Can still feel good about it so far, you know, still put up 2 zeros, but yeah, it doesn't look as dominant as he was in game 1.
Exactly. I mean, when you had, you're sitting here getting 7 strikeouts in 5 innings in game 1, and you're sitting here, yes, you've got 2 strikeouts, but you're also giving up hits. You're getting in dangerous positions. As Doe gets that strikeout before forcing a fly out to center to Murasame. But yeah, it's those positions where you see he's starting to key on it. He's starting to find that contact. Even if he's striking out here and there, he's starting to make the times he doesn't more impactful. And it's scary right here. It's a little nerve-wracking that you could potentially have a little bit of a struggle here and force a game 5. That's going to end the inning there, and the Blizzard can have another chance to chase Kaiba. It's going to be Niaptet, who we've seen get a pinch hit early in the series. We're going to be starting this game, pops up to the catcher. It's going to be 1 gone, and it's going to be Izayoi. That's going to be smacked into right center. That's going to drop. No problems. And it's going to hold for a single. And it's going to be Sakigake now. Can he keep the hot streak alive? He's got that versus lefty ability. But instead it's going to be grounded to Kirasaki. 6-4-3 double play. And the champion rings are out of it. But the Blizzard up to 4 hits now. And you got to wonder if that's going to make a difference here. Or is it going to be that same story like we saw possibly last game, where Dish gets more hits and still loses because he can't convert? But Rygao leadoff double for the champion rings. And now it's a bit of a nervy spot for the Blizzard. A runner in scoring position with no outs in the top of the 4th. Tied game. This is not a spot you want to be in. And that's going to be lined to short. Izayoi there. 1 gone. It's going to be Horisugi. Can he prove that he deserves that place in the lineup? No, it's going to be a grounder to Niaptet at second. 2 gone. He will advance the runner. But for sac fly's sake, it makes no difference. You got to get the out here to get out of it. And that is the question, is will that out come? And it does not. Champion rings. Pull one across. That's going to be a 1-0 lead. And a nice single by Kirasaki. And then runs for second. And makes it in time. Something we haven't seen as much of from the champion rings is a stolen base.
Pretty concerned on the bases, but that is a huge steal. Can we get the play at the plate?
Makes it in time. Despite Murasame's arm, made it really close. But it's 2-0 rings, and all of a sudden this game is opening up. It's popped up to Doe now, and that's going to end the inning. But the rings showing why they're up in this series 2-1. That's going to be a ground ball. Error throw. Can't get back to the bag in time, and Koldberg is going to make it on by error. And that's going to give the Blizzard an opening here, possibly.
Is Kaiba gonna get screwed by fielder errors again? Let's see if he can pitch around the free runner.
Let's see if it'll happen. Threw out, watching for that runner. It's 3-1. And the runner goes. It's going to be a grounder up the middle. Can't get the lead runner. Gets Doe at first. And that's going to be one gone for Yakumask to try and drive in from second. If I'm the Blizzard, I'm feeling good about this situation. You got probably one of your best hitters here. And almost messed up there by Kirasaki. Almost let that one drop like what happened in game 1. Now it's going to be Go with that clutch B ability. Can he make something of it and drive in Koldberg? Or is Kaiba going to pitch out of it? It is a 3-0 count. 3-1. Still looking for the black even in a 3-0. And a poor pitch to swing at from Go. That's going to get the champion rings out of the inning. If he'd let that go, that would have put a walk on, I think. Instead, we had top 5.
For sure.
It smacked up the middle. Leadoff single for the rings, despite Murasame's best efforts. And it's going to be Kaiba coming to try and support himself. And he's got the batting stats to do it. But instead, that's going to be 1. Got the double play. And the champion rings wasted their chance.
So I know Doe went deep in game 1, looked absolutely fantastic, but getting hit up a lot in a do or die game, how you got to start thinking about, do you go to the bullpen? And if you feel that you got someone in the bullpen that maybe could do a better job of keeping this to just a 2-run game.
Yeah, and that's the question here is, does he have the bullpen depth? You look at his bullpen, the 2 that aren't available are Yakumask and Go. You look at the rest of that lineup. On the pitching side, you've got Asnable, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Yamaguchi, Kurama. That's going to drop? It does. Leadoff single.
Isamura is back available.
Isamura's back available. You got Yakuman 1 Go as well. So there's some options there. The question is, are they desirable options? You also got Fumito Daita as a catcher. He's got pitching abilities. He's got a 144 fastball CB. Got a level 4 changeup on that guy. Not really anybody else as a hitter that would be of interest there on the pitching end. But Ochiai going to be sitting on second with 2 strikes and an out here. In the Outtek, can we make something happen? And the pick attempt, going to hold him. Is he going to try for a hit and run here? Holds for the ball. Good eye. And lets that one go. Mistake pitch gets wide on him, and it's 2-2. And the dinker, Raigau's going to make the gun, and that's going to be 2 gone. It's going to be Izuyoi. A poor pitch to swing at for sure. I think he was trying to just defend the plate. When you have a guy like Kaiba who can just place him and get 2 strikes. And I think that strategy you're talking about game 1 might be in play here, is him trying to wear down Kaiba. And so far, it's somewhat working. We're bottom 5. Kaiba, I don't know at this rate if he will go a full game, even without giving up any runs.
No, and giving up some more hits, getting into some more trouble. And the game does a pretty good job from what I can tell of, pitches with runners in scoring position take more stamina. They're more taxing pitches. You got to execute them. There's the pressure of it. And so if you get runners on, it's not only just that you see more batters, but those pitches do seem to take more out of the stamina bar. And so putting pressure on does change the calculus a little bit for Brennan, how he's going to get the remaining, we're down to 12 outs.
Yeah, 4 innings left. And that's going to be skied into center, 2 gone. And it's going to be Horisugi now. 0 for 2 this game. And that's going to make it 0 for 3. He's really not showing his worth in the lineup today. But we'll see. There are other players who aren't either. It's going to be Sakigake now to face Kaiba. We're going to see if he can try to get something going here. He seems to be one that tees off really well, kind of opens the floodgates well for the Blizzard. So if he can get on, this might open things up. And get on, he does not. Thought that was going to fall, but Kirasaki gets to it. And then a poor choice on Koldberg for the first pitch, and that's going to be a quick 2 outs, and it's going to be up to Doe. That fastball, again, just too much to handle. Just beautifully placed. Now, this is one of the mechanics I don't necessarily understand as well. And I don't know if you know here as the inning ends. What benefit is there to just throwing a regular fastball versus throwing the plus fastball?
So I think it depends on the pitcher a little bit, but for the most part, I think some pitchers have more of a gap between their max velocity on their fastball and their regular fastball, so that plus fastball puts you closer to that max velocity. And then also I think it just, especially for like a player like Kaiba or an Allen, or they have movement on their fastball, I think there might be a little extra kick on that movement.
Yeah, but
at the cost of a little more stamina.
Right, because if you look at this game as that one goes into center, neither pitcher is really throwing that plus fastball much. They're mostly going with that standard fastball, saving up that stamina possibly. For Doe, it's not a huge cut to his top speed. For Kaiba, it's kicking him down from a max of 152 down to a 138. But the movement is so wicked that it doesn't seem to matter. Like, as an example, his slider, his hard slider, is coming in faster by 3 kilometers than his fastball. You see right there that special fastball at 140 go into center. But if it makes that stamina difference, that could also be a key here. That's something that I've been guilty of. I've gone throw it. I tend to throw nothing but plus fastballs. And that's going to be a run. Move to second. And it's going to be 1 gone for Ochi now to try and drive in Yaku Mask after the sacrifice grounder on the hit and run. Instead, he's going to sky it straight up. Kaiba's under it, and that's going to be 2 gone. And it's going to come to Murasame. With that F contact, can he latch? He's going to take 2 quick fastballs low for a strike. And a good eye on the forkball to stay away from it. That fastball's going to center. Kazanagi's there. And that's going to end the inning. We're in the last 2 innings now. The Blizzard have to come back here.
6 outs to go. I get the feeling that depending on how Kaiba goes here in the 8th, Graviton Arai is waiting in the wings, ready to take a 3rd appearance in the series to try and wrap it up for the champion ring.
I could see that. I could very well see that. If Kaiba starts wearing down, Graviton Arai could finish things. He's stayed under 20 pitches both appearances so far, so he has no rest restrictions in the slightest. So he's been able to stay completely usable as a relief option. And that ball's going to be smacked. Izuyoi's there, and that's going to end the top of the 8th. 1 of 2 opportunities now for Dish. He's got to try and come back here. Otherwise, he might be a goner. And that's going to be chopped to 3rd. Raigao's going to grab it, but he has enough arm to beat Neoptet even with that S running speed. It's going to be 1 gone, and it's going to be Izuyoi. And I'm still honestly shocked we haven't seen Yakumen 5 touching the field yet. Honestly thought we would see, especially in a good mood, see a person with A contact on the field.
Yeah, but I hadn't had a great series to the point. Just trying to switch things up. Hoping that maybe there's a big at-bat that you really need the contact for.
Possible. That's going to be smacked up the middle off the glove of Kaiba. Can Sakigake beat the throw? He does. So he still gets his hit, even though it got knocked down. And it's going to be Koldberg to try and start something here. And Sakigake might be looking for a steal. Bren going to be keeping an eye on that. It's going to be 2-1. I don't know if Dish should risk it there. And he doesn't, and it pays off. It's going to be runners on the corners, 2 gone now. Nice little chinker from Koldberg. And suddenly we have runners on the corners, 2 gone, and it's going to be Doe at the plate. And I think this might be the time where we see Arai step on. If indeed he does. And indeed it is. Graviton Arai looking to pump that fastball in there with that changeup mix. This could be it. And it's smacked up the middle, and it lands. Somehow that landed. Kiyosaki couldn't get it. It's 2-1. The Blizzard trying to claw their way back in at the last gasp. And it's going to be Yakumask. And he considered a pinch runner for Doe. He didn't take it. Instead, Yakumask going to try and produce something. It's going to be a 1-1 count here against Arai. And that's gonna... It lands! The runner coming home! 2-2! And suddenly, despite switching to Graviton Arai, who has given the Blizzard some trouble so far over the last couple games, the Blizzard have clawed back in. That's going to be your ground out to second. We go into the 9th, a 2-2 game. Dish gasping for life. It's really going to come down to it here. Who can make the big play? Are we going to go to extras? It's going to be a leadoff single for the champion rings. How are we feeling here, Clutch? What are we thinking here this last inning? Is something going to happen big? Are we going to end up in extras? What are we looking?
I mean, the way the series has gone so far, I think we're going to get some fireworks here in the 9th.
It's possible. And we see Yuto Narumi, big hitter coming up here. Going to try to advance the runner with a bunt, and it fails. And lets that one go. Strike 2. And that's going to be chopped to second. 1, 2. We got the double play. Kirasaki, no runners on now. The champion rings. They're not in a good spot here. And that's going to land. It's going to land short of the outfielders. They were playing a little further back. So it puts an A-speed runner on, 2 outs. And a bit of a fielder shift here against Shibuya. Doe pitching carefully here. And the runner takes off. It gets there by a mile. 2-1 count, and you got a runner in scoring position suddenly for Shibuya. But Niaptet is there. That's it for the top of the 9th. It all comes down to the Blizzard now. Can we avoid extras? And I think we might be getting a Game 5 here. But I don't know. It's going to be up to the hitter here with Dish. Making a couple defensive changes for the champion rings is Bren. And does Bren leave Arai in at this point? Or does he try to pull him on that pitch count and try to save him for Game 5? Do you think he just tries to finish it?
I think he just tries to have him finish it. Unless you have someone in your pen that you think is a good double play pitcher.
Yeah, and that's going to be that strikeout right there.
I think Graviton is your best option going into extras, so you might as well just ride him.
Yeah, despite being in and giving up those hits that led to the couple runs that'll be credited to Kaiba, he might still be your best option here. That's 2-2. And big swing and a miss on that changeup again. It's that speed change is lethal for Graviton Arai. Big strike 1 for Niaptet. Strike 2. One more strike. We're going to extras. That's going to be grounded to Raigao. And that's it. All right. So we head now to the 10th. So tiebreaker rules. We got runners on first and second. No outs. And that's going to land in right. And the bases are loaded. No outs for the champion rings right away. And Doe looking gassed. Time to go to the pen. Who do we take here?
Isamura?
No, we're not going to the pen. I misread that. No, it's Honda stepping into pinch hit for the champion rings in the 9 slot. And a 2-0 count quickly. And that's going to be popped straight up. Infield fly. That is unfortunate. It's one gone. It's going to be Arai trying to support himself. He's got some great hitting stats. That C contact, A power, and a good running speed too. He's a valuable hitter. And he sends that to left. That's going to be at least one. Koldberg gunning it in to see if he can stop another. And he cannot. It's 2 runs there for the champion rings. And the Blizzard, they're going to have a hole to dig out of after having kept Doe in. And that might have been a mistake for them.
Those are the 2 tiebreaker runners, so you got a shot to get those in yourself, but you really got to keep it just the 2 runs here.
And it's still somewhat curious to me he's riding Doe at this point, despite being completely gassed. But he pulls the double play. He gets out of the inning. So if we go to an 11th, I think Doe's done for. But we may not get to that. 2 on, no outs. Dish's got to get some hits. If he doesn't, then it's over. And so you got to watch out for that double play ball here especially. But you got, based on the last 2 batters, you've got 2 of your fastest runners on. So that is one of those advantages you get here. And he's double steal, hit and run. That's going to right. And that's going to be a run. And no outs, runners on the corners now for the Blizzard. And I think he's got a shot at tying this thing up now.
Put a ball in the outfield, you got a tie game regardless if it's caught or not.
You could put it in the infield depending on where you put it with an S runner like Neoptet. That hit and run worked perfectly. And suddenly Arai's trying to pitch around Sakigake with a 3-0 count. And walks him. And we have bases juiced, no outs, and Koldberg at the plate, the 3-hitter. Can he deliver?
Home now, but the winning run is on second.
Yeah, this is a very dangerous spot, and gets him with the changeup, 1-2. Fouls that off. That speed change still being lethal, but this might... Oh, got him with the changeup, 1 gone. And suddenly a double play could end this game. But a hit in the grass could also end it. This is a 1-at-bat game, possibly. And we go for the squeeze! And it comes off. And we've got a 4-4 game. We're at least going to the 11th now. The squeeze worked perfectly. It's not something you see often in this league actually work. The bunts are so hard to lay down.
Incredible execution, and that'll be foul. But
0-2
one
here.
hit, and you could be forced into game 5 after that great bunt. And it strikes
Guns it past
we go
him.
to the 11th.
We're going to the 11th. I think he was sitting on that changeup, and the fastball just burned him. And now we're going to the bullpen. Who do we go with here? Again, we have that situation repeating of runners on first and second, no outs. And we're going to Ken Yamaguchi. Not a specialist in relief, but a deceptively strong pitcher. And that ball is going to go into left. Koldberg's there. He's not. It slid through. Koldberg missed the play somehow. And suddenly, we've got a 2-run lead for the champion rings with no outs. How did that happen?
Took an aggressive line to the ball, and it just got past the glove. Devastating play and left there.
And he even made the animation going for that ball. 99% of the time, you get that one. Gets the out at first, but suddenly the rings could be taking off again. Runner on third. You scored both of your freebies. But you get the next runner at home. Big clutch play. That's 2 gone now. But again, allowing those 2 free runners. And the Blizzard going to have to hit again. As the steal for second is successful by Kirasaki. Suddenly you could have another run scoring here. But nope. Go is going to shut that down with the tag. And that is going to end at the top of the 11th. We've got 2 runners on again. And it's going to be Go facing Arai this time. pitching out right away. He's watching for that hit and run. He knows Dish likes doing that. And it's going to be a 2-0 count right out the gate. That changeup floated in there, strike one. And that fastball, strike two, well placed. Got him to swing for it. And placed the fastball perfectly on the corner. Got the strikeout there.
The corner any better than that.
No, that is something that he's shown a specialization in. That's going to be an attempt at a hit and run. Ochi sends it instead to left, and it's going to be a fly out, 2 gone, and this could be the series right here. And that's that clutch situation we were talking about. Here comes Yakuman 5, legend, gold ability, but tried the hit and run and had to swing at a bad pitch, and that's game. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, your Summit Series 2023 champion, Bren, and the champion rings. 6-4 victory in 11 innings in Game 4. Finishing this thing off. Graviton Arai, our key to victory MVP, despite giving up a couple hits here and there. Despite giving up a few runs. Shut it down at the end of the game. Did the job. And Clutch, your prediction again was completely accurate.
The one that I did get right during the series, but yeah, no, that was an incredible Game 4. Like I said, I thought Bren was going to kind of control 3 of the games, and really he only controlled 1. You know, he had that good 6-0 victory, but otherwise, an 11-inning extra innings thriller, a 3-2 game that he barely, scrapes out in the 9th inning. Dish had his 1 win of 1-0. That was an incredible series to watch.
Indeed it was. Well, this has been quite the entertaining night, folks. We'll be interviewing our competitors shortly. Dish, he'll get undeafened here shortly, and Bren has said he'll join the chat so we can get some discussion in about that game, break it down a little bit, break down the series as a whole. My gosh, what a finale. I don't think you could have written it any better. And that is it. So yeah, Clutch, what did you think about that series as a whole? How did that go for you? How did you feel about it?
Well, it goes to show that, even at the highest level, we talked about before the game started about how no lock-on is so hard. That's what separated these two, is they were both able to hit without it. And you saw it in action, and it led to a very entertaining series, and you can see how the game changes and how it just feels a bit more realistic, maybe? It seems a bit more fair and fun, honestly, to me. Incredible performance from both players, but Bren showing why he's such a highly respected player in this community.
Most definitely, and Dish also showing out very well, fighting back, especially in Game 4 right there, making it very competitive and forcing 11 innings, despite going down by 2 runs multiple times in that game. Still fought with it. And I believe Dish and Bren are both here. You guys, how are you guys feeling after that one?
Victor, what
Tired.
the hell, man?
Oh, yes. Yes, we were over here like, we were shocked at that one. That was a howler.
Like, I don't want to lose like that. An outfielder missing a ball like that. Like, oh my God.
It definitely hurts. Of course, you could say, in theory, that's also the counterpoint to how Bren lost Game 1. That second baseman error that led to a winning run from Dish a couple batters later.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But overall, phenomenal series. And I'm seeing
Yeah.
Zumi posting in the Discord, Victor is public enemy #1 in Green Bay now.
Yep, I have a good feeling. Yeah, he's not going to be on the team next year.
I would say probably not. All right. Well, first things first, Bren, congratulations, man. You are the 2023 Summit Series champion. You have won the EPL. How do you feel?
I don't know. Just tired, really. That's all. It was a good series. Dish is a great player. Yeah, it was hard fought. We both had like double-digit hit games, which isn't really that common in the EPL without lock on, even with all the contact hitting. So it was very fun.
For sure. And that was something we were definitely looking at in the broadcast is we were seeing, there were games where Dish even out hit you in terms of the number of hits you were getting. But in the end, you were the one pushing the runs across. You were getting the hits when they mattered.
Yeah, lots of good timely pitching there. Definitely came through.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I just kind of choked with runners in scoring position, like straight up.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that's just really hard in the EPL is you'll get those runners on base sometimes with that no lock on, but it's so hard to finish it. So hard to finish those moves. So seeing you finish off those moves pretty well for the most part, I think that honestly had to be one of your keys to victory, right?
Say that one more time.
You being able to finish off your moves with runners on base, being able to drive them in, that really became your key to victory was getting those hits in those clutch moments.
Yeah, especially when games are higher leverage, you have to be more timely. Like usually, well, at least in real life, like you're not gonna get like complete game shutouts in the World Series, So you want to get as much out of your starter as you can, and then hopefully they put the bullpen in a good spot to win the game. And I had Graviton for a few games. I had Oda come in and just empty the tank. Had lots of good performance from my relievers that kind of helped as well, additionally to the timely hitting.
Most definitely. And I think it was definitely interesting. You see that first game, Doe and Kaiba both dueling it out, putting together an amazing performance. You get to game 4 and you guys were both hitting against the opposing pitchers very well. I know Dish was rocking Kaiba a lot more than we expected. And in
A lot
turn
more than I expected.
that was something we discussed is when you're getting that longer series, you're seeing that same pitcher multiple times for the first time in a season. And that maybe gives you that advantage where you're able to actually get familiar with them and find those patterns. And I think that really showed itself game 4, and that's something we have not gotten to see this season.
Well, yeah, Dish also played against the Kiba week 1 and actually put up 3 in 1 inning. I still remember that inning. But for whatever reason, Kiba was actually red instead of yellow for that second game, and I just could not time it with 2-tap for the life of me. And
Yeah, I did.
couldn't really
I did notice
locate as good as I wanted to.
Yeah, I did notice he was missing quite a bit.
Yeah, and that was something game 1 that we were making like huge note of. You were hitting those corners almost pitch perfect with the placement. And it kind of fell off a little bit there. And I mean that happens. Timed pitching is not easily done. So the fact that you were painting corners so well in general was just impressive overall.
Yeah, it's not just locating the fastball, but I wasn't able to locate that little forkball at the bottom of the zone too, which you can get lots of swings and misses for strikeouts, especially when you're up in the count. But wasn't able to locate either, and unfortunately, it almost cost me at the end with the 8th inning rally Dish had.
Yeah, and let's talk about that rally for a second. Dish, how are you feeling on that? You're down 2 runs, you pull it back, you send it to extras, you go down 2 again, you pull it back again. What were the nerves like in those comeback situations when you had to make those clutch hits?
Man, my hands are still sweaty from that. Like, oh my goodness. Like I just had some very lucky hits right there. Like Kiba is the worst pitcher for me to face because of that rising fastball. And the fact that I actually got hits off of that fastball is a miracle that rivals like anything. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's definitely not easily done. I had to
Mm.
face that last week of the regular season, and it put me to shame.
Yeah,
But
the fastball is not a fun one to face, like not like at all. But getting those runs in the bottom of the eighth, and then honestly in the bottom of the 10th, I honestly should have won that game in the bottom of the 10th. Like, oh my
oh
goodness,
yeah,
I'm
there were
I mean yeah
there were opportunities for sure that we really thought a game five was about to happen, and
yeah
it fell through right at the end.
yeah. I just couldn't get any solid contact off any of those pitches, and honestly that's why I bunted with Doe because I knew I needed to get that second run. I knew I needed to get that second run, keep the game going, try to get to 11, and well, we all saw what happened in the 11th.
Yeah, and it was definitely it definitely caught us off guard, but the suicide was absolutely perfect. It was just placed so beautifully.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. I mean, I had to bring out the Aiken brain.
yeah, for sure, bringing out that Icon brain. Um, but it's definitely something where you were able to kind of pick up on Graviton Arai in that final game. I know you had faced him games 2 and 3, and he was lighting you up with that fastball and that changeup combo. But
He still
something
was.
he still was, but something started clicking game 4 there, and it seemed like you were starting to chase him a bit.
Really? Huh. I didn't notice.
I mean, the keep in mind he was the pitcher that was on that technically gave up Kaiba's 2 runs, and then he gave up 2 more.
Yeah, true, true. But like honestly, me trying to hit Graviton is hard to do. Like
Yeah.
it's almost it's not as hard as Kiba, but it's still damn hard.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those players. Like looking back at that midseason draft, I had an opportunity to take him, and I kind of wish I had. Because seeing at the time, my little mushy brain thinks, oh, he doesn't have relief aptitude. I don't need another dedicated starter. But then that tyrant ability just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys with some good fastballs between Graviton and Kaiba and some of the other options you had, Bren, has that really been your strategy through the season, or is that something you wanted to push tonight? Is getting that heat up, making that fastball just really hard to hit?
Well, I think the fastball plays so much easier and so much better in no lock on because with lock on 3, you have to like really hit your spot. Otherwise, it can be out like any single pitch. Whereas without lock on or lock on 1, you have more lenience with locating it and just mixing up your off speed as well. So I feel like velocity plays more without lock on, but at the same time, like in general, I think you just need to locate your fastball. So it kind of was the plan. Like I knew with the top 3 pick, I was either gonna get Asa, Kiba, or who else was there? I think Atsumori. They all have really nice fastballs. Like I'm pretty sure they're all like 150s. So I knew I was gonna get something like that. I wanted Red for the two-way ability because Red can hit. I think Red hit a homer in game 2. It was.
He
Yeah,
did.
Like
yeah.
Red
He
also
he
had some
popped one in
contact.
game 2. Of course, the Yaku Mask turned around game 3 and bombed one.
Yeah.
And that was one we were not ready for. Is
I
like
wasn't ready for
I
it.
wasn't ready for it.
like you had
No one was ready for that.
like you had the red got that homer and like it cleared a little bit. Like it's 128. It was decent. And then Yaku Mask comes up and just rocks a 150 the next game as payback. And I think we were all just a little shocked at that one. That was a bomb.
Yeah, I think
I can't
HF
believe I hit that.
too.
Yeah.
So I got tagged. So it's what was your thought process allowing Oda to throw so many pitches in Game 3, making him ineligible for the remainder of the series? Well, I felt like Game 3 was a big one because I didn't want to go down 2-1, and then I'm pretty sure it would have been down 2-1 against Doe. So I did not want to go down 2-1 at all costs. And all my other pitchers were in the yellow, and I didn't trust Zensai. I didn't trust Narumi or Kiba, Tachikawa. I think I already used Graviton at that point. And Ariki was blue, so I didn't really feel comfortable with any of my other relievers. And Oda was red. So pretty much my thought process was just get through one inning at a time, see where I'm at, see if the offense gets going. And it didn't happen. So I had to hold it down with Oda. And I was content letting Oda just, if it meant getting that win, I was fine not using Oda for the rest of the series because I felt comfortable with Kiba plus Graviton plus Ariki getting better motivation in the future games. And you can also add Red on top of that. I think Red would have been eligible for Game 5. So I felt like I
Correct.
had my pitching lined up, even with Oda not being eligible the rest of the series.
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
was
and Do yeah,
sorry.
yeah, and Oda is a really, really, really sneakily tough pitcher to hit. With that 12-6 curve, the circle change, those are probably a couple of the toughest pitches to hit in the game.
Yeah, honestly, you pair that fastball speed with that circle change, that almost puts him at graviton levels.
Yeah, like
And
me and changeups have a bad history. So
yeah, but yeah, Bren, thank you for catching that question from HF over in the Discord chat. And that's something we were discussing in the chat on my stream with HF while that was going on, and that was his thought process exactly. Is that Oda got left in because you were confident in the pitching you had behind him for games 4 and 5, being able to take him out of the series and being able to really focus that. So it was definitely a smart move on that part, and it made for a very very tight ending to Game 3. But it all came off very well. So yeah, Clutch, did you have any questions you wanted to add in?
No, I just want to say congratulations to both competitors on a well-fought series, and congratulations on setting the example for future EPL seasons.
Yeah, for sure. Congrats
Thank
to
you.
both of you on a phenomenal season. And thank you to everybody who participated, all 4 divisions this year. All 40 teams were cranking. It was amazing to see that kind of turnout for, 10 weeks over, the last 2.5 months, seeing people playing consistently, really working at that grind. It made for a great time for all of us, and I'm very proud of what this Discord has built for that league, and I'm really looking forward to season 2. I think there's definitely going to be some players that have caught some eyes a little bit more. I know, for example, like we were discussing, Oda, maybe he'll be a bit higher up the draft board now that that pitching ability is a little more obvious. So
yeah,
definitely could be seeing some different strategies going into season 2, and with the full player sets out now, having those extra player sets in there, that's going to change people's draft strategy going forward. So
yeah.
it's going to be good.
Now, one thing I wanna figure out. So game 1, what happened on that pop up, Bren?
I like jumped with my character, and then I was gonna like do circles around and catch it, and then I just missed it. And then you got another hit after that, and then Kiba's fatigue started happening, so the blue circle actually got smaller for the 2 tap, and I kind of just, yeah, I like
Wow.
trolled too hard, and
Man,
then
I was wondering
you
when I
were
saw
after
the
that.
when I saw
That's
the
karma.
jump. When I saw the jump, I was wondering if that was going to be like, you were messing with him a little bit, because it was a 0-0 game. You guys were trying to finish it out, and then all of a sudden the botched play happens, and I would say everybody's collective jaw just kind of dropped.
Yeah, I had a no hitter at that point too. I think it was
Yeah.
with 2 outs too. Eighth inning, seventh inning,
It was eighth inning, yeah,
eighth
Yeah,
inning, 2 outs.
and then all of a sudden it's just the bomb that cost you game 1, but you made up for it
Yeah,
in
but
games
yeah,
2 through 4. You made up for it.
yeah. Good game, Bren. Look, you're one of the best teams all year. You absolutely deserve this. Great games, great series. You done good, man.
Yes, thank you. I thought I was going to lose that game 4. I mean, game 3 was also really close, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we definitely had game 2 was really about the only one that I would say what
Was a
had a
stinker.
gap. It was a bit of a stinker, but you get games 1, 3, and 4 all competitive, exactly what we expect when you get a big series like this for the championship. So it was definitely fun to watch, fun to announce. I had a blast. Clutch, I'm sure you probably had a blast as well. And yeah, it was just a great night of baseball.
Amen.
Yes.
Yep, and good job on your guys' broadcast today too. I'm gonna listen back to it later and see what you guys said. But man, oh man, that was some good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
I've got to watch both broadcasts.
Yeah, yeah. And when considering we're running up on 3 hours right here.
Oh, Joni coming in with the raid. Oh my God.
Oh no, you got raided last minute. Oh no.
Oh goodness. Welcome in, folks. Welcome in. We're just about to wrap up. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, but hey, welcome in, folks. Welcome in. Sorry, I'm gonna mute real quick.
Yeah, let him do his thing. But congratulations, Bren, on your title. I'm sure we'll get a role set up in the Discord for you shortly as the king of all EPL players. So very happy for you. Glad to see you you come out with a big title there after a long season. And I'm looking forward to see what you pull out next year. Or not next year necessarily, next season, whenever that happens. I would assume we'll probably have a second season some point this calendar year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh man, it's gonna be so different. I can already tell the rules are gonna be different for teams. Everyone like knows who's good and who's not. Like Reibu and Red are definitely not gonna be as late, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more meta built into it now that we've actually had a season to wear this out. Because year one was trial and error, finding some specifics, getting our flow in place for how we're going to do this. Season 2, it's going to kick into overdrive, and I think we're going to have an extremely competitive season. I'm curious how that's going to adjust for everybody, how our new additions to the EPL are going to affect things, how well they'll be able to handle that lock-on zero adjustment. So overall, sure, it's going to be very interesting. All right, well, Dish, I know you're muted at the moment. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Oh man, just thank you to those who watched. Thank you to everybody who made this season a success everywhere. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I do have a request. Big Sid wanted to hop in the chat, maybe say some kind words real fast if y'all are okay with that.
Yeah, go right ahead.
All right.
No, I'm not.
Damn. All right.
I'm just kidding.
No, I just wanted to hop in and say some stuff real quick. To be perfectly, I never even knew that Discord existed. And funny enough, the way I found it was through Dish's stream.
Oh.
All the way back in February, at the tail end of the first inaugural Discord tournament. And it's kind of crazy that when I found the Discord, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, there's a community that actually knows about this game, let alone plays it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of blew my mind. And then just meeting all the crew, whether they're in the league or not, or just just hanging out, talking about the game, and then seeing everybody so active and whatnot. And then also, you guys, especially with making the whole season so that everybody can play at a fair level and not being forced to play online with the not so balanced ranking system.
Mm-hmm.
It's really insane to me that this is the first time that I've actually met more than one person that actually knows what the Power Pro Series is.
Oh wow.
So
yeah,
because for the longest time it was just me. I had nobody else to talk to about it. And I've already met some really cool people here. That I could consider them pretty good friends. Scales is in the VC. Scales is my guy, right there. He's a homie right there. Zacharoni's another one. This entire Discord has a bunch of cool cast of characters and whatnot. And then also just seeing the game for the first time being shown off at an international event with the esports series, and then Dish and Kangen literally representing us at an international level. So it's insane. So just want to say that this is you guys made something pretty cool out of a little game that that only diehard fans from the West know about.
Well, thank you,
So,
man. That is some great stuff, man.
Yeah, it's just insane. It's just insane how far we've gone and whatnot, and how much this game and this franchise has also rewarded me just these past couple months than any other game that I've played throughout my entire life. So, yeah, it's insane. This community is really sick. So
Yeah.
that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna go back to mute. I don't want to make it all so
No worries, man.
You are good,
no
man.
worries.
And
Yeah, hey,
it's-
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Like it's great to find a community of people you really like and people that share a same interest. And that's what community should be. And I'm glad that you found that here.
Yeah, most definitely.
Pretty cool. All right. Before I leave, I'm making a statement. Next season, I'm out for blood. I'm out for some. I'm out for blood.
Meet me.
I will. Give me like 2 seasons, maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me speak on the stream.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Thanks for the kind words. I agree with a lot of it. Like, you go into any channel, like the 0708 games, whether it's the Power app, like it's just so active and supportive. Like, I don't see people fighting or like butting heads in here. It's an amazing community.
For sure. And that's something like, and Dish and I could attest to this back when this community really started back in the Power Pros World Forum days a decade ago.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, and even then, for the most part, our community was really chill. We were really tight, and I could have never imagined it jumping to the heights it has. When back then, all we were doing were like sharing success mode character passwords and writing story logs because we were passionate about it. And even then, nobody in our community at the time played the Japanese games. We didn't know anything about all that, and we ended up building into that, and all of a sudden, we've got representatives on the international level. We've got huge leagues like this. It's astonishing to me the heights this community's gone to since I've been part of it. It's incredible.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a phenomenal last few months. I mean, this has all happened in 5 months. Like, can you believe that? Like, this game has grown
all the way back in February. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
All the way back in February.
All it took was that one Nintendo Direct.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean,
all it took was one Nintendo Direct and a 3-second clip gameplay of this game.
I lost my mind on Twilight King 432's stream of that. If you haven't seen it, you need to go back and find it like 5 months ago or so.
I gotta check that out. I gotta check that.
I lost my damn mind when that happened, and I think a lot of people in my chat will back me up on that.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't streaming it or anything. I think I was working at the time, but I had the Direct on, and I was watching different stuff. Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection popping up, which I've got. I love it. And we'd been talking about that game coming out, the WBSC eBaseball Power Pros, and all of a sudden they slid it in just in one of those little small spots, and I lost my dang mind.
I was in my house watching the stream in a watch party with a couple friends, and I just see the 3-second gameplay clip, and I just go, "Oh my God, it's Power Pros in English!"
I know.
What?
Exactly, and then they went more in depth, like the slightly more in depth look, and they're like, "Shadow dropped today, and I lost it."
Yeah.
And I think we all
I
just...
think
A lot of
remember.
us did.
So I wasn't as active. I was like not playing the game for a couple months, and I got the at everyone. This is not a drill, and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh my gosh, it came out like that week,
Like
it was,
that day.
right after-
Yeah,
that day,
it came out the
yeah.
day of the direct.
For $1.
Yeah,
It's not like
you see
now
$1
coming in the
Power Pros,
fall.
you go.
Yeah, it's not like it was like, oh, now coming in the fall, and there was the suspense. It just happened, like, all at once.
Best dollar I ever spent.
Not even 99 cents.
Literally.
The amount of time I have spent on this game for $1 compared to so many other games that cost so much more. It's astonishing. And I bought it on both consoles, even though I don't have PlayStation Network. But the reason is because I had enough Nintendo Gold points, I just paid for the $1 one on the Switch with the gold points.
I
Yo,
think
read what-
same.
Like, I didn't
Read
even
what
have to
you
spend
read,
money.
but-
If I go to my Switch's play activity on my profile, WBSC Power Pros is my most played game out of all the other games I have with so far 340 hours.
I would dare say it's gonna be close to my top as well, that and Mario Kart.
Oh man, I need to find mine here. Hang on, I need to figure out where to find
I
that.
think
go
it's
to
up
your
in your
profile.
profile, yeah.
Profile, and then there you go.
215 hours.
Okay,
Is that
yeah,
at the top?
215 hours. Yeah, I mean, I played Mario Golf Super Rush for 395 hours, so
And
I don't
then
know.
Power Pros 22 for that, and then Power Pros 2020 for 850 hours. Holy cow, man.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Hopefully 2022. I hopefully get it tomorrow because it says it'll arrive tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm about to start grinding on Akon, man. That's gonna
Hell
be
yeah.
lit. That's gonna be
Hell
lit.
yeah.
Yeah, man. 22 is fun. 22
Oh,
is
yeah,
fun.
great.
It has so much content. Just so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
took
This-
down a Power Fest the other day, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah. But man,
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
gonna-
this is
I'm
a
gonna-
great.
I'm gonna-
This is
I'm gonna-
great.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that too. I've never played Power Fest before.
Oh, it's so fun.
It is a battle, but it is a good time.
Yeah.
2022 is also different than 2020 Power Fest.
Yeah.
So
I would get the 2020 just to have the Olympic mode. I think
Okay.
that's kind of fun, but nah, I might as well just keep 2022 and that's it.
Yeah. Well, this was fun. This was fun.
Yeah, for sure. And
Things-
thank you
things
all.
Fire.
Yeah, thank you all who are still watching at this point.
46 people in the chat.
Yeah, after we've been going for over 3 hours, thank you all for tuning in for this thing. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it has.
Congrats again to our competitors, Dish and Bren. You guys both did a great job. Bren, congrats on your title. I have a feeling that Discord title's coming for you pretty soon. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and let's wrap this thing up. So thank you guys for watching.
No problem. I'm gonna go ahead and deafen on my
thank
end
you.
here.
Feel
Yeah.
free to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like. Drop a comment.
Yeah, basically. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. It's been a good time. That wraps up our EPL season. Bren is our champion. He came in. He rocked it today in some tight games. They both played well. Congrats to Bren, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.